Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
Just making a last minute change here.
And then I drop out and Inman pops in.
yeah, oh, yeah. I was thinking of Jimmy today.
Yeah, you're taking a
What
shit?
happened?
Well, I had to get rid of the bench that he sat on and broke. Since
Oh
Inman
yeah, you
said,
talked about that last week. Why don't you explain what happened?
well, James came out to hijack the podcast and to see a friend who was had key. I don't know, debatable.
Hold on, Andy. If I do recall, you attempted your first booking without telling anyone else in the group.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was kind of held hostage by the guy too.
That's not what I said at all.
I was weak, had going through chemotherapy, and James kind of here's the thing though. I thought I didn't think James, knowing James, I didn't think he could get from Seattle to Eugene on his own.
It's a safe bet. Yeah,
like credit cards, things like that, and somehow he got here and did it. But he's not, I guess he's a husky. Like he's not a fat guy, but he's kind of fat.
You're talking like body type?
Like body type. He's an XL anyway, but he's stupid weight. So he sat on kind of an antique, and it was like a 30-year-old wood bench, so it was due, but James plunked down on it because he had to fucking jump and ruin the podcast, and part of it was my fault. I went through some time. I got to think about some things, and that might have been a bad deal.
I love him.
Yeah, but anyway, so I had to get rid of that today. So I was thinking, this fucker lasted, 30 something.
That was a total loss. It would not even firewood. It went to the trash.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's just, I could
chop bench, not James, right?
Either one. It's open to interpretation.
If I felt better about the environment's chances, I might have tried to remove the metal parts and sawed it up or whatever. It was salvageable for firewood, but it would have taken effort, and I just threw it in the garbage bin bucket. This planet ain't gonna, that ain't the tipping point.
Just tell yourself it was treated wood. You don't want to burn that shit anyway.
Right? Yeah, it was treated over the years, but
yeah.
So I thought this thing would have lasted, and if Inman hadn't plunked down on it, it was just like the beginning of the end. It was like there was a split in the middle and compromised the whole side of it. It was like he was like 9/11, his ass on that bench. Took a minute before
he collapsed bench 7.
Yeah.
You're saying his ass was an inside job?
Yeah. I wish it would have stayed inside his auto, but it was nice to catch up.
Yeah. We love you, James.
He does.
I haven't looked into the Patreons to see if he's a member.
Yeah, I think he got worn out, or he tired of it and moved on. Every once in a while.
He's never been a Patreon subscriber, has he?
I think he was for a little bit.
He's never had $1.
That's true.
How did he have 5?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We should gift him a Patreon subscription, and we should make him watch it every week.
He'd go to the Patreon store with a couple of pockets full of change. Yeah, and he'd pull it out, and it'd be like $4.40, and then he would try to shame Patreon into kicking in 60 cents. Come on, you can
kick in a month, bro.
It's only $5. Yeah, well, it's 60 more cents. Yeah, corporations suck. That's why corporations are evil. Because you're 60 cents short. Yeah,
so what's happening this week, boys? What's going on in your life?
Man, that's a tough one. I've been doing work. I got inspired by Chad to bug out, but I think Chad was out longer, and just away from people.
I moved out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you off the grid now?
Yeah. Oh, I'm back right now to podcast, but I'm headed back.
Good
Are
Wow.
you hunting?
No,
for
just
Get away?
I read that book, remember, about the Maine hermit, and I got to
Yeah.
thinking, I can fucking camp up at the top of my own woods up here for $7.50 a night, and then come back and steal from my own fucking house. The fuck is wrong with me? I'm all envious of this guy, and I'm a fucking.
That's
I was up there
fantastic.
going, I wish I had a fucking hammock. I ordered one from fucking Walmart. It was here today. I can pick it up when I'm here. I'm gonna take it back up there with me when I move back up.
Yeah, you do need that mailing address, which that would be better than that. You're going one better than the main guy, because
Yeah.
the main guy, he couldn't really order from Amazon and wait for it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna find a spot where I don't have to pay $7.50 a night, but I
Yeah.
like it up there because it's at the very top of a
You're talking about the
really
canyon, right?
yeah, it's at the top of
Yeah.
Car Canyon, and it's a switchback road that is like windy, 7,400 feet up, and so is for the most part I'm up there all by myself.
That's sweet, dude. $7.50 a night. You're paying that. Look, we
That's
all know how much rent and mortgages are. That's $225 a month rent. $225. That's ridiculous.
But there's no heat.
Have you ever
It's an
been
outhouse.
outside?
There's
He's
nothing
in
but
fucking
heat.
Arizona, bro.
Jesus, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, it's nice up there.
There's
It's
no
not-
air conditioning.
It's not hot. I mean, it gets a little hot during the day, but compared to down here,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
beautiful
But yeah,
up there.
you're up at altitude, and once you get in the shade at altitude, it cools down real quick.
Oh man, I'm in the pine trees up there. And there's an
Yeah.
outhouse over
Up
there.
right there, dude.
The world is your outhouse, bro.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I'm envious of you.
Yeah.
Well, I did it for a night, but it wasn't the same. But I just wanted to get out, and so I drove to the beach and
Uh-huh.
hung out.
Oh,
And
were
it was
those the
good.
pictures you sent me, Andy?
Yeah. That there's. I
Very-
sent Greg a picture. I went. This is like I'm my own date or whatever.
Oh,
I've
that's
done this
fucking
before.
beautiful, dude.
But yeah, so I watched the sunset. People got in the way of it, but I was like,
No,
all
I
right,
think that's.
I'll pre-
I think that adds to it.
I
think,
pretended I knew him. Like, oh, there's a
Yeah,
what-
there they are.
It's
Delaney-
romantic.
It's Delaney and Brad
it was
walking
me.
along
Yeah,
the beach.
it was me at a happier time. Look at my ghost in the. But there was
And and that's Jesus walking next to you.
That's what I said. Are you the lonely guy all the way on the right looking at
Oh,
those happy people?
there
over
was
there?
there. I did see
Oh, there is another guy.
Yeah.
I did see a big dude.
That's the
next-
murderer.
Right there.
I followed the footprints of a big fat dude who ran up the beach. I saw him in the morning, this guy running up the beach, and then like, wow, he kept going. I was up there to jerk off, so I was like kind of going, wow, that guy's fucking got some momentum for a big dude up there. It's like, good for him, and I'm up. And I didn't even plan on it, but it was just a nice sunny morning with the haze.
You never
Easy.
plan on it, Andy.
Right. That's why and with the way the fucking climate, I couldn't ignore what's going on with the climate. So I had to go up in the rolling sand hills and chuck one into the sand there. But
Gave Mother Nature a money shot.
it was very nice. I was with a sand dune, and I was walking around, and it's just sinking in my feet up to my knees in this warm sand. And then I just go, okay, well, I'm being held in place, and this is where I'm at. And I made a little sand spittle. And, and then
Sinking
I-
in sand
Good
up
for
to your
you.
knees. Isn't that quicksand?
That's-
no, well, not when it's dry. There was
I mean,
Yeah,
that
it
sounds
was like
dangerous.
it
dude.
was
That's
like
like
a-
you're jerking off in the bathtub. Like you can't. What if
Yeah.
you can't get away from
Yeah.
that once you
and
start
jerking
coming?
off, you're probably making it worse.
yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm froze up like that, it would be a nice.
So all
monument.
the
Yeah, you don't
I
want
think
to. You
that's
don't want to do movements. You want to be lateral. You don't want to do it up
I
and
think
down.
that's like centripetal force. I think that's like an ice skater that spins gets going faster. If
Yeah.
you're jerking off, you're just gonna sink.
Like a jackhammer.
Yeah,
Yeah, what was that?
you,
There was
you
a-
were jackhammering yourself right
Oh,
into
that's where the name
fucking-
comes from. Now we figured it out. A jackhammer. I always wondered why they called it that.
I was let's see. I'm thinking I was causing erosion while ejaculating, trying to think of other E words, but I wasn't doing anything that nature and the wind wasn't doing, except blowing a load. But you know,
Dude, I'm
here's
proud
the-
of you for being able to fucking come jack off to conclusion.
now the
odds.
odds. Now if I get caught, it's gonna
Good for
be
you.
like Gary Busey situation, So I'll creeping fucking dude up here in the thing, but I was away from
But Andy,
everybody.
look how far away you are.
rolling-
Those people could be jerking off, and you wouldn't even know.
Oh right. Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, I went way left of there. That was where I hung out in the evening. In the morning, I went down all the way to the end on the other end, and then that's when it's just like the sun lifted, or this fog lifted, and it was beautiful and it was warm, and I started losing layers, and one thing
sure
led
did.
to another up there. But,
Yeah.
but then,
Was that a euphemism for something, or was that a
yeah,
code?
it's like I guess
Like an
moving
onion.
around- I guess moving around while doing that is like different positions, but I was like, this isn't quite right, or I didn't want to lay down. That's like a missionary position with the earth. You got to get weird. You got to get weird. The climate's changing. You got to change with the climate,
Yeah,
man.
man. The Earth
but
is into different things now.
I moved around a little bit, and then when I finished up there, I was like, I had my clothes heap was a little bit of
Your
ways.
clothes heap.
Hold on a
You
second.
got all the way
Yeah.
naked to do this?
Down? Are you fucking naked?
Well, yeah, I'm up in the, I'm I'm multitasking. I'm working on quiet time, not being bothered. I'm meditating,
like
sun tanning.
Andy, hold on a second. So like when you retire to your private area, what you think is private, you don't know if there's someone else
Public
smoking
property.
behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still on public property.
If
You
somebody-
you carefully, like a serial killer, take off your clothes and fold them onto a rock.
Oh, no. No, I
Sounds
had
like
a-
he leaves them in a passionate
Or
string.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's
just
what I
thrown
think.
all over the
I
place.
had a couple of piles. You don't need your
Again,
goddamn,
you sure did.
you don't need your goddamn glasses on or your phone. So I ditched those with the initial, and then I laid down a coat because I was thinking I'll just sit here and I was catching some sun.
Nice.
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
then
beautiful.
You know that saying that they're trying to bring back to remind people about when they're taking a trip out to the
Give a hoot,
national
don't
parks
pollute.
is pack it in, jack it off.
Yeah, don't leave a
Pack it in, jack it out.
Don't
Jack
leave
it
a
in.
cum
I
rag.
read it
Leave
wrong.
10 cc's behind.
Bunch of
It's been a fun episode so far, you guys.
This is like when we should ask for hey man, if you can help support our podcast, get on the Patreon. Because we do it at the end, and then it's like sometimes people go in and eat a bunch of buffet, and then they'll take off before the bill drops. I think that's what happens. We go at the end of our episode.
So,
People are like, "Oh, I'm full," and it's like when the collection plate comes out at church or whatever. It's like some people got to go to the bathroom right before it comes around.
Yeah, you don't want to get in the parking lot when everybody's leaving, man.
you got to get out of there. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, well, there you go. That's it.
Well, if you did have a little tissue, what I found out, which and I think this is pretty biodegradable. I think it's all good. But if you did have a tissue in that situation, you find guys, if there's dudes or ladies doing a clam gun, they do the clam gun and they leave a hole. I'll take the
what?
clam out, and then if you had a wet
But there's
tissue-
other people masturbating out there too.
No, he's talking
no,
about
there's other people.
the way
That's
he's
not what
talking
I
It's a
about
whole lot of weird.
clam.
But
What I thought
people who-
clamming was.
Clams are like clamming is pretty weird shit.
Clamming is
you know?
wild.
The
Yeah,
clam
you're
gun,
like,
Andy, is it's that tube that they're shoving into the ground and then they pull up harvesting a clam.
Yeah, they'll
And
drop
you're
a clam.
equating that to you jerking off in the bushes.
No, but they leave little garbage holes. like a little hole. So it's like a
clam
hole.
hole.
I
If
had,
you just
I had
jam
some,
your
I was gonna carry it all back because I'm all about. I don't want to litter. I don't want to make things hard on sea life or anything. So, but I did have a tissue, and I don't want it in my pocket because I'm putting shells in there.
Did you,
I'm
did you
doing
come in a
lot,
clam
you
hole,
know.
Andy? Is that what you're
collecting
trying to
shells.
tell
Yeah.
us?
I mean,
Andy
you could
fucked
be
a
working
clam hole.
together with
If
with these people harvesting.
Yeah.
If there was a clam detective, I would be nervous that they might find DNA. But
why don't you just
other than
you ever think about just jamming your dick into a clam hole? I mean, you can
No.
fuck the earth. You
No,
know,
no,
you
it's
could
a
take this to the
cold-
next level.
cold, like if maybe the sand warmed up,
Oh,
they're in
That's
wet
never
sand,
gonna
but it's
happen.
cold and clammy.
What if there's a clam?
That's
in
how
there?
that expression came about. What's that?
Yeah, there's a clam in there. You could make a pearl necklace.
But here's the thing: have you ever seen like some of those clams? And my family used to do this, and we didn't have no fancy clam gun. We'd dig down there, but you get your hand down there, and then you would grab their dick. And a lot of clams have dick. They're like
Are you
big
talking
dick.
about clams or your
He's
brother?
talking about the gooey ducks.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
they
their
got
dick.
big, like an uncircumcised dick that you have to grab, and then you pull that up. So it's a lot like taking care of my dad or whatever, the same kind of a deal. You'd have to wrestle it with dad. You'd
Because
have
the
to glue
clam
it,
also
put a
didn't have
catheter.
legs.
I could have cathetered a
Clam in a chair.
That would surprise
my
the fuck
God.
out of a clam, right? You pull it out of the hole and catheter it. I didn't see that coming.
Oh my
Hey, aren't you the kid that
God.
was just fucking the beach? I'm 57 now. Not a kid, but so I thought the next.
Here's what he's talking about. The gooey duck.
Yeah,
has-
see that?
Whoa.
It's not its dick,
Yeah,
but
but that's
you're-
what.
but
Come on.
that thing will go. They're oriented 95 or 90 degrees from there. So they're straight up like that, and you're trying to locate that with the clam gun. You go down to try and to grab it. You're looking for things on the surface, clues, not tissues.
That clam dick's going
but-
through his head.
Wild
It's
and
like
crazy guy.
just thinking, he could, oh man, if he would have thrown some seafood into that act.
So this is what you're trying to grab, or this is what those people are trying to harvest from.
Yeah, and
from the
they'll
beaches.
spit too. They'll spit out there.
Yeah.
Like it is just like a dick. It has a
This
spit.
seems like, I'll be honest with you, this is horrifying to me. It seems like a process. I can't believe anyone could be talked into this as
Well,
like
They're delicious.
as a hobby.
Yeah, I mean, my
Don't they
family.
look
They're
delicious,
super
Erickson?
expensive too.
There was a time where there was a
A
dredge
spitting
going. In,
clam dick.
Mmm.
Mm.
what's that? Spitting clam dick. Yeah, you pull that up, and then that's not even the best part of it. Then you get to take it.
Wait,
I don't
there's
even
more?
know what happened after that with them, but
Here, I got a
we
picture. of
like
one
the
spitting here.
clams. It's kind
I've
of
dug razor
There's one.
clams.
Whoa.
yeah. Look at that. I mean,
What the fuck?
why aren't there YouTubers out having fun with those? I'd watch a YouTube video of people being fun with clams.
This is an industry, Andy, in your area. The Japanese market for
Mhm.
gooey duck is super lucrative.
Japanese are weirdos, man.
They probably like them just like that too.
Yeah, eat them raw.
No, don't prepare them.
Yeah, I eat it raw
Sorry.
at sushi. They'll have these up in the Pacific Northwest. It'll be available.
They blur it out though.
Yeah. I have to go behind a screen, and there's a cover over my mouth when I eat it.
And they won't show the taint of the clam.
You have to put a napkin over your head and eat it in obscurity.
But isn't that a fucked up thing to have to do? Is like, you gotta
Yes.
lay down. I mean, this is how we did it. We dig, and then you'd dig as much as you could, and then the water you'd start coming in, but you could still, you get a hold of that dick, and then you'd wrestle it up or whatever before the hole fills in. So you're basically laying on your belly, wrestling a fucking, a dick looking thing out of the sand while the tide's coming in. And it was and I don't remember what my incentive was. I don't think I liked eating that shit. So I was
It's
like,
just like it's like the clam, like in clam chowder. They used to chop it up. They used to chop it up and put it in clam chowder until people found out they were using gooey duck, which that was kind of misleading.
Oh,
because is that the dick part?
Well, yeah, they don't give them the shell part, Andy.
so what are you eating when you eat a clam? You're not what even are you eating?
The insides.
But it looks like it's coming from the inside of the
Yeah,
clam.
yeah, that's yeah.
Well, that'll
I mean, you
pull
have to
back
skin
inside
that.
the shell too.
Yeah.
Like when it's cold.
I look,
And whatever comes out the end.
I'm
is
a
what
grower, not a
comes out.
shower, so I can appreciate that. That should be that would be a good line. You're familiar with clams? Here we go, lady. I knew
Yeah.
nothing about this. I thought
Come out.
I
No,
don't know
hold
what
on,
I don't know
some
what I
dicks.
thought happened with clams, but I did not think that dicks grew out of them and people dug into
Just-
the
Well, I mean,
Just
it's
that
not,
one kind.
It's not the
They're
dick.
not all like
I mean,
that.
It just looks like that. It's
dude, that's a dick. It's got
Well-
pee coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Balls.
it meets all the requirements. It's
I mean,
gross.
it's a gate. If you were
It's
just
a
like,
gateway.
if you had a pleasant experience on those while clamming,
Oh
The
no!
gooey duck is a large clam found along the west coast
That
of the
one's-
United
that one
States,
is
from
fucking
Alaska to
winning.
Baja
that's a
California.
moneymaker.
Yeah.
They are known as the world's largest and deepest burrowing clams. They typically grow in the soft, sandy, or muddy
And so-
I
substrate
wonder
of
if they'll
tidal
burrow
flats.
into anything.
We
Their
see
depth
Andy
range
walking
is down
by in
to
the background.
330 feet deep. These
Whoa.
clams are characterized by a small shell
If you
and
could
a
put 'em in
very
your
long
ass, somebody
siphon
would've
or
already done it.
neck that can be up to
Siphon.
3 feet long. The siphon
3
has
feet.
2 openings at the end, one for taking in oxygen and microscopic organisms called phytoplankton, and one for releasing excess water. The siphon can recoil to appear shorter,
Look at all
but the
those
mantle
dicks.
and siphon are so large that they cannot be withdrawn into the shell.
Sausage party.
Oh, they can go
Once
back in the
buried, their
shell.
shell remains
Not all the way,
sedentary.
no, but they do shrink.
The
down.
shell is typically 7 to 9 inches in diameter.
That's what I tell
The
her.
shell is white
Yeah,
with
that's
concentric
what someone told
circles
her.
that can be used to tell the age of the clam. These clams are long-lived.
Fuck.
The oldest recorded Pacific gooey duck was 168 years old.
No.
They mature around 3 years old. Females
Yeah,
can
but you don't
release
wanna have
between
sex with
1
them
and
till
2
they're about
million
4.
eggs per spawning event. Fertilization occurs in the
Do
water
they come
column.
right out of the sand like that?
Fertilized eggs
They
hatch
pop
into
out the top.
planktonic larvae.
That's how
Oh
you
my
see
God.
them at
The
low
larvae
tide.
drift for about 6 weeks. When they grow large enough, they settle on the seabed and crawl along the surface
get
before
that.
finding a spot.
I don't even know. Do they?
May not reach their maximum
Oh,
size
look
for
at
Oh, there's
14
a Landy.
years.
Andy.
Yeah.
Some can weigh up to 16 pounds.
16
Adults have
pounds.
limited mobility
Yeah. Oh
my
and are
God.
unable
Get
to
it?
bury
Oh,
themselves if
God
removed from the
damn.
sediment. They are preyed on by animals like sea otters and starfish.
Look at her
When
preyed on by
threatened by
that guy
an
with a
approaching
fucking big water
predator,
jet.
the gooey duck will
Ooh.
retract its siphon
See?
into the seafloor.
Now you get into that hole.
There
Recreational
you go, Andy.
clammers dig them out at
They're
low
already
tide
there waiting
when
for
mud
you.
flats are exposed. They are also farmed and sold commercially to different places,
God
with
damn
an
it.
especially
Poor
high
guy.
price in China.
We just got a
Divers can harvest them fast by using high-pressure water hoses to
That's
remove
cheating.
the sediment around
Yeah.
buried
Totally.
gooey ducks.
That's where that phrase "eat a
In
bucket
China,
of
the
dicks"
gooey
comes
duck
from.
is considered to be a
gooey dicks. There you go. Yeah.
Holy shit. Well, we've learned something here on Issues
Yeah.
with Andy. I think this is an educational podcast.
That was pretty good. I learned quite
That
a
was
bit of
really
stuff.
good. I had
You're-
no idea anything like that happened. And I've watched every David Attenborough special he's ever done. He has never covered a gooey duck.
He's
That's
embarrassed
weird.
by
He
these.
is embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The accent doesn't work for that for a gooey duck. I can't do it, but
Anthony
Imagine
Bourdain refused to talk about him. Took it to his grave. He wouldn't talk about it. Come on.
hi, Birdie.
I don't know. He probably talked to him. I'm guessing Anthony Bourdain covered Gooey Duck.
Oh, okay. We're gonna watch this one.
Anthony Bourdain on Gooey Duck.
No, this Chinese gal's gonna eat one live.
Oh,
shit. Oh, I don't know if I want to see
yeah,
that.
no, it's a Japanese girl.
Chinese.
Chinese
Oh,
and
no.
Japanese are not the same, Andy.
Oh man.
Here we
Yeah,
go
tell that.
again. Andy's gonna get us
Yeah.
canceled.
或者像，哦，
Oh, I think she's gonna do it.
Oh, it's squirting. Get it.
裹上一
It's
点
one of those mukbang
辣椒
videos.
油、
Oh,
辣椒面儿，
Oh yeah,
See,
put
Oh,
sand on it.
一样都不能少，
Oh yeah.
不拼，
oh,
老铁是不会给我双击的。
oh,
A little wasabi.
oh, she can deep throat it.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, she pulled the skin off.
Oh,
起来，
Oh.
给咱、
Oh.
给咱家铁子敬个礼，
oh, that
告诉
happens
咱家
to me
铁子，
Oh
too.
man.
我要
come
脱
on.
了，
Lady.
Is that why you're camping, Chad?
还敢喷老铁，还敢喷老铁，
That does happen.
Yeah.
Ow.
起来，
God
起来，
damn it.
再战，
This bitch.
给我要个双击，给我要个双击，再战。
Man, I've
Oh, I
never
wanna
wanted
know
to
what
learn
she's saying.
Chinese.
他很腥啊，虽然
All
我不
right,
喜欢
ladies
吃
and
它
gentlemen,，stop
但
watching
是
this.
No.
No.
Oh, mazel
Bobbit.
tov.
The Bobbit.
让你天天喷我，
Jesus
让你天天
Christ.
Shaylee.
Oh,
Holy fuck. Now we've learned too much.
oh,
First it was
Oh.
educational and we learned something. And now
I
we've
wonder if
learned
she wants to
that
be if she wants to be a citizen, I gotta help her. She comes over here. We could do like a coastal show. It'd be a dinner adult dinner show.
oh.
And she starts off with eating a gooey duck or two, and then we serve up the first entree.
Well, no, you don't go right to the gooey duck.
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
You
yeah,
ever
it's a
do some other
closer.
things like eat like fiery hot Cheetos and
some,
ramen or something.
Maybe put
It's the
some oysters
mukbang.
on her nipples or something.
Yeah, ease them into it. You know.
Starfish would put. You could
fucking
put a starfish on a
horrifying.
nipple, probably. Wonder if they would
Ooh.
attach on there.
I mean, you guys have you watched these
They started
mukbang
eating
videos?
The
where they
what?
eat, like
What?
gross stuff.
No,
No.
no. That I
No?
just saw why.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like that stuff.
No, no thanks.
I
Well-
felt bad for the gooey duck. And that's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
What was?
Yeah, yeah. You would think the animal rights activists would be out in force. She's
It's
just
fucking-
slapping the shit
No
out of that
eyeballs on a
poor-
gooey duck, dude. no
Well,
one
Yeah.
cares.
She slapped it and then she fucking bit its whatever off.
Do you think it was still
Foreskin.
alive? You think she was doing that while it was alive? That would be.
Well, yeah, it
cool.
was
Well, peeing,
responding.
Andy, what was it? A puppet? It was moving.
I see a lot of horrible shit on the internet. I choose not to believe what I see. I guess that guy just kicked the car, got winged and laid down there. I don't know. I got to move on.
It
There's
just
other
it
shit.
seemed horrifying to me and I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I thought.
2 out of 5 stars.
Oh,
I'm not a fan of eating things that are still kind of moving. You know,
No.
it's
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even like picking a lobster from a tank, just
Terrible.
not into
I don't
it.
feel the need to watch anybody eat anything ever.
Yeah.
Now I'm with you on that.
Even a
thing.
cheeseburger.
No, no.
Yeah, I think like when well, they show it in movies and like ladies will cover their mouth when they eat or whatever. It's like everybody should cover their mouth. We should have mask on. We don't need to see that. It's like you don't want to see people taking a shit either. Same thing. They're shoving it
Yeah,
in there.
just
That's the
earlier
first step.
in the process.
And really eating is just step number 1 in taking a shit.
Absolutely correct.
People
I
should
agree with
just-
you on this, Andy.
People should just take their food straight into the toilet and shut the fucking door and eat it in
That's right.
private.
Yeah. Yeah, when fat people do it, you think
But-
it's out of shame, but it's out of decency.
I like the idea Shaylee had of just throwing a towel over your head while you eat. Just, you know,
Well, that comes from a that comes from a ritual in France, I believe. There's a bird. How was it called? I think the orlot or something. It's a bird
It's
that
or a lot.
that they would eat, but the tradition was that you would put a cup, your napkin over your head for the shame of eating this beautiful bird, but you would eat it like you'd eat it like you'd eat crawfish or something. You know, you'd eat the whole bird.
Mhm.
It's
So-
fucking, and they're deep fried.
oh, I was gonna say, you made it sound like it was alive, like you're Ozzy Osbourning this thing. So
No,
it's dead
no.
already. But the French that to me sounds like the French just, you know, adding
I think
too
it was
much
the French.
bullshit to what
It's
they do,
European
yeah.
for sure. And in fact, they had to outlaw the taking of the birds because they're fucking wiping them out.
Of course.
It also put laws against people eating corn off a cob in public. That's always gross. I've done it in public. It was fucking gross. And I've seen other people do it. It should just put a box on your head.
A corn box?
Yeah,
A corn
Get
cob
the-
box.
Climb in the corn box.
Hey, get the cob box. We
Get
got
the cob box.
Here.
Yeah,
got
you
another
just go
one.
into a cob box and then have the thing spin, and you could just go, and then be the most functional way to eat it, but nobody wants to
I
see
mean,
it.
Andy, you make a good point because if you could
Cob
eat,
box.
if you could eat in complete solitude, you would eat like a fucking kid, you know, like an animal kid, you know, like a wolf pack. You would just, because you're not trying to be polite in
Yeah.
society and stuff. This is what they do in Japan. They have a little paper napkin with the face on it, so you can continue to talk to someone while you've got, you know, while you're mowing down something. You can continue to be present at the table.
Well,
and
who's
not
holding
have
it
you-
up though? She's got two hands on it. How is she eating something?
Well, she's got her mouth full. Japanese people, you see them at the mall and stuff. They'll put a big bite in, and then they'll go like this. And this kind of just
Okay.
takes it a step
Good
further.
for them. I respect
Yeah.
them for that. I do
We're all-
think
we're
these
for
things are
that.
weird, but I like
So,
that.
Courtship of Eddie's father was actually historically correct then, or culturally correct. Well, he always had Mrs. Livingston had to eat in the kitchen. And she didn't. She just
That was
chose.
different, Andy.
Well, she didn't want to be seen eating or whatever, so she sat in the kitchen.
No, I think she was the help. That's why
She was-
she ate in the
yeah,
kitchen.
she's not part
Out
of the
there with-
family. I think it was basically racist.
out there with hot sink.
Wait, she's in there with the cook from Ponderosa? Just-
No, it's
They
his
share
brother.
a soundstage.
It's hot sink, his brother, who just does dishes.
Hot sink.
It can't be his brother though, because it was like 100 years later.
That would be a good episode of Ponderosa when Hop Sing tries to get his brother Hot Sink a job out of the.
We don't have any water, you dumb fuck.
He brings it in.
That's why Hot Sink is so popular.
Here's,
That's what the
here's Mrs.
modern
Livingston.
sink was named after. Yeah. And she cut her hair also to remind him that she's the help and not to have sex with her. It's like, come on, doll it up a little. I don't think there was ever any.
She looks animatronic. This is
Yeah.
the late 60s, but you know, we're not too far away from people having live-in help that are robots that look exactly like
Well, and
Miss-
he was the
Miss
type of guy who would
Livingston. I
get
don't
really-
remember the courtship of Eddie's father actually ever watching it, but I knew nothing about this. But that looks
Somebody-
like she looks robotic to me.
Well, Bill Bixby was a
Hand
gentleman who
jobs
had
were-
a kid.
Yeah, I
Andy, do
remember
you
that.
remember was the kid, was he an adopted kid or what was
I don't know. That's
he-
He was just a widower, right? I mean, the mom
I
died.
thought
I
he was a
hope so.
bachelor.
yeah. There's some weird. I mean, that theme song. I don't like that show. It's just
Talking about my best.
yeah. It's like he's
friend.
your cuddly toy. This is your
Yeah.
son.
Whoa.
You know. So if it is your son, whoa. And if it's your stepson, oh man. And if it's uncle,
This is just a kid off the street.
yeah, he's
The levels are worse and
Yeah.
worse and worse with whatever.
And Mrs. Livingston eats in the kitchen so she doesn't have to see the grooming. Is, and the old
Yeah,
man turned into the hole.
Okay, yeah. So he's the series is about a widower, Tom Corbett, played by Bill Bixby, who's a magazine publisher, and his son Eddie, played by Brandon Cruz. Eddie believes his father should marry and manipulate situations surrounding the women his father is interested in.
Oh,
Kind of
yeah.
a little
Yeah.
different strokes.
Yeah, what's the kid involved with it? Yeah.
That's why kids are a problem, you know.
You couldn't make that show
You're
now.
finally rid of the old ball and chain. You're out there, you're having a good time, you know, and your kid's trying to fucking get you, you know.
Yeah, he wants a mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that mother's gonna stick around after you leave for college, Ed. know? So leave
What do you
dad
think
do his thing.
Why do you think I bought this other broad?
Yeah. He picked up.
Yeah, why do you think I brought her back from Vietnam?
She wasn't always named Mrs. Livingston. She went by something else on the street. Yeah, I thought that show was a little bit bizarre, but I don't think they could make it now. There'd be both sides would be, you're a fucking groomer. What are you doing?
Wait, but no, that was his son.
Oh, allegedly.
Well, I just
You
read
know.
you the what.
Oh, I
his
know,
theme
but I
song
mean,
was.
just that. I guess it was just the songwriter. I mean, if the theme song wasn't that,
Oh yeah,
it
the theme
seemed
song was.
that
really
it was
weird.
creepy, and it didn't like Gilligan's Island told you what exactly was going on. This just left you confused in the kitchen,
Right.
and then the only person who could stay in the kitchen was the Asian woman. And she looks a little better there.
Yeah.
I bet that show had
Cute.
like a 2 or 3 year arc, right? Did it last very long? I think it was.
Hold on, let me see.
And that kid
Yeah.
disappeared forever. I've never heard of him.
Eddie's father eventually got a hooker from Modesto pregnant.
She called him Mr. Eddie's father. It was real,
Oh,
she didn't
never
make any
seen it at
effort.
all.
Like now they'd be, he'd be like, learn the language, bitch.
It ran 3 seasons.
Uh-huh.
She would have been great for now because she never said a hard R.
She never said a hard anything. She let Eddie's dad do all the shit. I wonder if there's footage of her
I'm
eating a
sorry,
gooey
Chad.
clam. You think Mrs. Livingston could eat a gooey clam? She wouldn't be all like, I mean, these modern girls are a little gross. Mrs. Livingston was very polite.
Of course.
She wouldn't
It's like a
scissor.
geisha.
Mhm. She wouldn't
You know.
slap your penis and demand it get up. But I would like to see some more of her videos.
It would be fun to add a little like audio track to the Gooey Duck slapping video. You know, just
I'm sure it's
Or
been
like a
done.
karate.
hey, lady, knock it off.
I wonder what I'm gonna have to Google Mrs. Livingston. I'm sort of curious what happened with her. Did she get to work in some movies like John Wayne movies or whatever?
Well, let me find out.
Is that
Maybe I
her?
can
Yeah.
definitely get it in here. Let's see. Miyoshi Umeki.
Oh, Yoshi.
Miyoshi.
That's what I said.
First East Asian American woman to win an Academy Award for acting.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
For what?
She
Mr. Eddie's
told
father?
Bill Bixby to fuck right
I
off.
know. She's a yeah, hell yeah, she's a bigger
And
star.
what did she win in a?
Well, I'm
Academy
looking. Hold
Award?
on a second.
Happy endings. The story of
Remember that movie? It was a Hugh Grant movie. It sounds like a Hugh Grant film.
She died in 2007 at the age of 78 from cancer.
oh
So,
man.
But why? What did she win the Academy Award for?
I'm looking. Hold on. Let me see here. Boy, she had a bunch of albums too.
Really? Holy shit.
So did Yoko Ono.
Well, Yoko Ono really had to
Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in a movie called Sayonara.
Don't be racist, Chaille. Just tell us what the movie's
No,
called.
that was it.
Mm.
And then
What?
she also was nominated for Flower Drum Song.
What was
She
Sayonara?
nominated
That
for
sounds actually like a John Wayne movie. I think
Let me
Andy
see.
might have gotten it right.
Oh,
Nope,
holy shit.
Marlon
Oh.
Brando.
Oh,
It's
pretty
the
damn
one where
close.
Marlon Brando played
Look.
an Asian.
You play across from the king. You fucking look good. Marlon
Yeah.
was the best. So
Yeah, and he might not even been all fat back then.
No, that was his thin.
There's like two
his
different
heyday, really.
yeah.
Let me see
like
here.
two
When was
different
Sayonara?
Brandos.
It had to be after. It had to be after Courtship of Eddie's Father. So that would have been Fat Marlon.
No, this was earlier. This was let's see, 1957 was Sayonara.
All right. So that just proves it. That shows how racist Hollywood is. This bitch wins an Academy Award in 1957, and
Yeah.
she's relegated to a fucking
To the kitchen.
to the
Yeah.
kitchen of a fucking shitty sitcom as a racist trope. Oh man. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Livingston. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you deserve it better, Mrs. Rivingston. That's why we're on strike.
Here, I got it. This is Brando and Mrs. Rivingston in Sayonara. This is the painting though. It's not the, but that's how he looked.
Oh, man, yeah.
During 1957.
Sultry, chiseled fucking Brando.
Oh yeah. He had plenty to go here.
I mean, wonder what he got, what time frame he got all big on. Or what
He was
swung-
big by Apocalypse Now. That's
Oh,
and
yeah,
to
yeah,
The
he was-
Godfather. He
Uh-huh.
was big
Did
by
he-
then
I wonder if he got big for a role and just stayed there.
and just stayed up.
Yeah, Brando's fucking. That is amazing though. From those kind of roles to what that sitcom. She
Well, I
she
mean,
should have been.
it's she's also an actress, Andy. She wants work, right?
Oh, I know, but it was I don't know. I mean, I just my
Three-year-
memories of that show.
3-year
was she-
TV deal. That's
like
not
I
bad.
remember Alice being involved in plots, and I remember that character of Mrs. Livingston of delivering food and occasionally having a conversation, but I don't think she was really even a big part of the show. She
So
might have
she wasn't like she didn't have a Sam the butcher bringing her the meat.
no, she didn't have any. She should have got a dude,
Yeah.
fucking black dude or something. They should have broke some ground there. Or
One
anyway.
step at a time, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. People are still fuming over Obama being president, and that was a while back.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Look at this couple, right?
That is a handsome couple right there. Look at, they are both stunningly beautiful. She looked better with long hair. I think they did her wrong in the courtship of Eddie's father.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had to make her look like a domestic in
Yeah.
courtship.
I guess.
Even an Aunt B in that show.
But this
Yeah.
was 57, and courtship of Eddie's father's was the end of it was 69 to 72, I think.
Why didn't I go outside more? Sat and watch fucking dopey TV shows. Courtship of Eddie's father and fucking Beaver Cleaver and
We all did that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had a small window to watch things back then. Now you can there's always something you can click to.
Nobody gives a fuck about it anymore, and I'm glad of that. You know,
Yeah.
About what? TV?
TV, it's kind of
Mhm.
over. It'll never be what it was. My parents are in their 70s, and they still love TV because they're like the perfect prime generation for TV people. You know, they were 50s and 60s people. That's when TV was king. Like I try to get them onto streaming stuff, and they're like,
Oh, no.
They're like, no, I'd rather just watch whatever's on.
Oh, we missed it. It
No.
already started. We can't watch
Sorry.
it now.
Too late. That's
Commercial.
how they like to do it, you know. It's not
Yeah.
going to change them. But those days are gone, and that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, things are changing, man. I mean, like for instance, when I went to the movie the other day, I thought there'd be somebody to interact with, and it's like
You went to see
you don't.
Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah, Oppenheimer. But when you don't do something for a while and you go back to it, and it's like, wait, this isn't how it is.
What
But
do you
I
mean there was no one to interact with?
Well, I mean, there there was no like the ticket person when COVID hit. They had
Oh,
like
yeah.
a skeleton in the ticket booth because it was closed or whatever. But the skeleton was basically the last, person to sit in a chair because they decided to just go app. Everything's an app or whatever.
Well, yeah, there's no
I
one at the
refuse.
ticket
That's
booth
where
now.
I'll refuse. I refuse. And I fuck McDonald's. I'm done with them. For the
Well,
most.
we already know that, Andy, why you're done with McDonald's. They've
Yeah,
upped their prices of sodas from $1 to
Oh,
$1.25.
and shrunk their
And
cups.
that is where Andy has drawn the line.
And shrunk
Never
their cups.
again.
You can't
And-
prove that they shrunk the cups, Andy. You can't say that.
And people sitting in line waiting. If there's more than 2 cars there, you're committing crimes against the climate.
Andy, why don't you?
but
They have self-serve in most McDonald's now. You can go in
Also-
and be done.
They took out the playgrounds, which I don't care about, but that's why I saw
Wait a minute.
complaints about
2
McDonald's.
cars in drive-through, you're committing a crime against the climate. Why don't you, my friend, buy yourself a nice new Tesla, a Cybertruck. And
I'm
then
waiting.
you
I'm
won't
waiting
be
for.
you won't be emitting any carbon emissions, a little bit of electricity. Sure, you got a little bit of electricity, that's a bit of a carbon footprint, but you get yourself a solar roof, you get yourself an Elon Musk solar roof, and that will power your Cybertruck, and you can sit in a line at McDonald's 8-10 deep for your $1.49 Dr. Pepper.
Laughing
and
all the way
not-
to the pickup window.
Absolutely correct. Not and the birds will
Technically, you'll be
chirping.
sitting in a line waiting for your truck,
Chad,
making no footprint at all.
Yeah.
I'll wait
Chad.
for the 2030 version.
Chad, go to your campsite.
Now that
Monday, I'll head back up Monday.
that angle looks pretty
And,
cool.
and technically, I should say I didn't really move to the woods. Like I'm not fighting with my wife or anything. That sounded bad. I realized after I offered no
No.
explanation whatsoever. I have house guests in my house. And,
Oh yeah,
so
that's an important part.
I
was just
really
envisioning
did, like Andy said, just bug the fuck out. And I really am heading back up like Monday. I'll head back up there. And
Yeah,
stay
I like
probably
Chad's
next week.
post that Chad was up there and then people showed up and it's like, oh yeah, it's a weekend. It's like,
Oh, dude, it was the
You
worst.
forget
I
what
had-
day it is. That's the best.
people started.
Check this place out.
People showed up
Look at
over
that.
there. That's on the way up there.
Yeah,
It's so
that's Car Canyon.
people have died
Damn.
falling off there. Like there's a sign telling you how many people have died trying to get over like this fence.
Is it a chalkboard so you can add one if you watch someone die?
I always hope that there's somebody dying actively when I go by there.
oh yeah.
You're so jealous.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I should climb over that fence.
I don't I'm like Andy's ideas all sound fun, but I don't want to die scared and like screaming. I just want to
That's what-
die.
That's what
But-
heroin is for. Like
Yeah.
I don't mention
No.
that with the windsuit scenario, but I would be plunging it, needle in.
We
Oh,
get
I was
that.
gonna listen. I was gonna mention this earlier when you were talking about jacking off into the beach.
Into this, making
Here's
sand.
to the greatest caught masturbator, Paul Reubens, Pee Wee
Oh, yeah.
Herman,
Yeah.
funniest motherfuckers that ever lived. Thank you for everything you did. I fucking love that guy. I was sad to hear that happened.
Crucified for jacking off in a jack off
Oh
theater
my
at one
God, what are
time.
you supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
I
Poor
looked up
guy.
I looked up this week to find out the movie, but they don't say what movie it was, but there was 5 movies showing that day in a loop, and they didn't sound excessively gay or anything. Like it wasn't about firemen or anything. I was like, it's like if you're gonna go in, if you went in to see 5 mainstream movies, you might laugh, you might cry, you might think, and you might have to jack off. You don't, that's
Right.
the problem when you're going to see 5 movies. You don't know how things will affect you. So, and it's that
So he
was
was a victim of his emotions.
Yeah.
probably. I mean,
No, I think you just bought too many movie tickets. I think
Yeah.
that's what he's saying.
Should never go
Just
for
buy
that first
3.
one.
Don't watch 5 movies. Only watch 3.
Push
And-
Go
three
into
on your
jail
birthday.
by the 5th movie.
You
Bring
only
on
have
your
so
birthday,
many
bro.
emotions.
Yeah,
Right.
you're gonna take a shit. You're gonna take a shit during part of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but fucking
I-
dude, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure is still one of the funniest movies. He and Phil Hartman wrote that movie, and it has my favorite movie comedy writing scene, and that is the fact that, spoiler alert, in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, his bike is stolen, and he's heard that he's heard that it's at the Alamo. He's got to go to the Alamo to find his bike. And at one point in the movie, he gets hit on the head and he's kind of knocked out. When he comes to, they're like, oh, are you okay? Yeah. Do you remember anything? And he says, I remember the Alamo. And I thought, these motherfuckers decided to make the Alamo the place where the bike was, just so that they could make that joke 2/3 of the way through, like a throwaway line. But to me, that's the fucking brilliance of Paul Reubens and Phil Hartman. Both of them gone. Too fucking bad.
Yeah,
So fucking funny.
Reubens. I mean, that had have a huge effect on on his life and being, being kind of me
Absolutely.
too'd and worse than being me too'd, he was just dismissed as a joke and a perv or whatever. And it's like every dude who was like, oh, that guy's a perv. It's like, come on, didn't you just jack off buried knee deep in the sand in a fucking state park, you fucking sick fuck?
Right.
What's wrong
Right.
with you? But every dude who cast a stone at Pee-wee has done way worse, and or Pee-wee did probably way creep. It was a good time, and Sarasota was probably hot.
Here we go.
I have enjoyed reading the stories that people have been sharing on social media about Paul Reubens, and they're all of them stress his kindness, he would go out of his way to be kind to people, and I appreciate that kind of shit. I think that's who he was at his core. I think that's why Pee Wee Herman was such a funny character, because that's what the core of that character was. It was who he was. I mean, he's a rebel, Dottie.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, here's that clip.
And he is
Kid,
Wait,
what's your name?
I can't remember.
Where you from?
I can't remember.
Can't you remember anything?
I remember the Alamo.
that's great. That's great.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, Chaille, every
Seriously.
time we do this, every fucking time
it's like a Nicolas Cage movie, man. You got to see it.
I've seen a lot of Nicolas Cage movies, the good ones.
We're gonna watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Chaille.
Yeah, we should.
Yes, we will. We will. I mean, you're leaving tomorrow, but you'll be back next week. So yeah, it's a fucking classic. It's very Phil Hartman-y,
Which is
And-
great.
In it is Phil
which is
Hartman.
great. I
Does he
think Phil
appear in
Hartman
it?
was the best. I think Phil Hartman was probably one of the 3 or 4 funniest people of the last 30 years. He was the last good Saturday Night Live character. He was great in everything he did. He was super fucking funny. God
He
damn
propped Rogan up on talk radio.
it. Yeah. He
Actually
worked-
propped
he worked
everybody
with
up. That was a
Joe
great
Rogan.
cast. I mean,
Absolutely.
Rogan wasn't, didn't turn out to be the best actor, or it wasn't his pursuit. But I mean, you think about you got Phil Hartman, and then that dude that's in shit, man.
Dave Foley,
Dave Foley from
Foley's
the
good, but I
Kids in
mean,
the
yeah,
Hall.
Kids in
the
the Hall.
older dude, or the
Steve,
Steven,
Stephen
that
Root.
guy. Yeah, he's so fucking great.
He's great.
Like a-
that dude's
Don't
my
forget about
favorite.
Andy Dick. Don't sleep on Andy
Oh
Dick.
yeah,
Yeah,
Andy,
yeah.
don't sleep near Andy Dick.
I didn't know what joke I was setting up when I said that, but I knew I was setting up one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I think also, let's talk about news radio for a second. I think the women in that show are also all excessively hot. I was attracted to every
redhead?
one of them. There was the redhead. I think her name was Vicki Lewis.
Vicky
I'm
He
Lewis.
looking it
was
up right
cute
now.
as fuck. And then I think it was Maura Tierney. Is that her name?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Wow,
in
you
love with
really did.
her.
Yeah.
And then the black woman that was the announcer with Phil Hartman was just like super hot.
Yeah,
What a cast.
Maura Tierney was in ER.
And she was great.
Yeah, and she was in that one. I'm looking. Vicki Lewis was the redhead, and then remember early on there was a black gal, but did she? Her name was Condi Alexander.
Yeah, she was it was her and Phil Hartman who were the actual like radio broadcasters in the studio that was up above where you were.
But
like,
did she was she all the seasons, or was she?
Oh yeah. I think in
Okay.
fact she might not have even been at the beginning of the show, but she was added. But she was.
Yeah.
She also did like one of those forensic shows where she was like a coroner, where it was one of those things where like there's no way that the fucking coroner is this hot, like, come on. The people are not like this. This is Hollywood. But that was a great cast, man. What a great show.
5 seasons.
Fantastic. I've told this on this podcast before, but do you remember my story of almost killing Dave Foley? I literally, truly almost killed Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall.
No.
He was playing the comedy club in Peoria, and it was after the show, and Dave was a fucking great guy. he was ready to hang out afterwards. So we're like, all right, we'll go down to Mitchell's bar. We'll, you know, the bars are open till 4. We'll fucking hang out. We'll party. He was a beer drinker, boy. He could just pound beers. But Dan Conlon, everybody's favorite comedy club owner, you know, since Dave Foley was a star, he had to put him up at a better hotel than the fucking shitty, you know,
the one I stayed at.
that he put that we all stayed at when we fucking went there. So he put him up downtown at this hotel that I never really ever went to, but I had to take him back to his room for a minute, and he'd either change or do something before we went to Carrie's bar. And so I take him, and he goes up to his room. He comes back down a couple minutes later, change whatever it was he had to do, and we're ready to hang out. We're pulling out of the hotel, and I have to, like, the Carrie's bar is over here, so we're right on the river. Peoria has the Illinois River going through it. We're right on the river. This hotel was right on the river, and I come up to the exit of the hotel, and I turn right because I only have to go like 20 yards to the street. And as I turn right, and then all of a sudden there's this car coming toward us, literally in our fucking lane. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And I swerve out of the way, and the car swerves. And Dave's like, what the fuck is wrong with that fucking drunk ass bitch? I'm like, I know, this fucking town, fucking people are crazy. I turn on the road and I start going, take him to the comedy club. We tell this story. I almost died on the way here, some drunk ass motherfucker. And it wasn't until, like, I don't know how many weeks later, I was back in that same area, and I realized the road I turned onto was a one-way street.
One way.
So this car was just going down the street, and I pulled out in front of it, and fucking the guy was like, what the fuck, idiot? And I honestly, if I would have pulled out, you know, a 1 second later, we would have had a head-on collision for sure. That would have been, you know, I would have been charged with vehicular manslaughter because I was for sure drunk.
Wait, didn't this is in Peoria?
Yeah.
Where you grew up?
I did not grow up in Peoria. I adulted in Peoria. I just never really went down by the river in that area where I was. It wasn't you know, Dan didn't put people up at this nice hotel where Dave Foley was staying. So I never had to hang out take comics there or anything. And it was weeks later. And then when I found that out, I was like, oh.
You could have prevented ants.
No.
Was that after ants?
I think it was after, but let me just also say this, now that we've gone that direction. That's one of the best animated movies you'll ever see.
Yeah, I liked it.
Ants.
Don't get it mistaken with the other one.
Wait. Bug's Life.
Bug's Life. Yeah, Ants.
Bug's Life. Ants is the Woody Allen one.
Of course, Andy got it wrong.
Yeah.
Bug's Life. A Bug's Life is a fucking great movie. That was right. Yeah. Andy, your daughter's the same age as my kids.
Mm-hmm.
That was right in our wheelhouse. And A Bug's Life was.
We went to solid. Disneyland and met a few of them.
Yep.
Got some photos and such. Cool characters. Yeah.
Chaille, we're gonna watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure and then A Bug's Life double feature.
And then Andy Dick. Andy Dick's Big Adventure. Yeah, the Ants was had like Sylvester Stallone. I think it was a totally a juiced up version of Bug's Life.
Well, they both were in production at the same time, so they weren't ripping each other off. But
it's weird.
Bug's Life won the race to get out first.
Wait, there was a movie called Ants.
ANTZ, and Woody Allen was the fucking voice of the main ant.
Yeah, so you know that ant had a lot of angst.
And a lot of younger ants.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can't even summon a Woody Allen voice.
We've traveled a long way from Paul Reubens passing, but I just want to say that dude, man.
Yeah, he created his own thing, man. It was like, absolutely. I mean, he was like a Robin Williams kind of thing, but he did it on his own more so. Like Robin Williams got plucked and put into those things, whereas Pee-wee built that character. And that character became iconic.
It was a Groundlings thing. So the Groundlings were a New York, comedy troupe, and Pee-wee, the Pee-wee character was a character he did with Phil Hartman, who was in the Groundlings with him, helping him write it. And then they just developed it more and more and more until Pee-wee's Playhouse. Pee-wee's Playhouse is fucking groundbreakingly funny. Like it's everything funny about an adult version of a kid's show. I mean, it's fucking perfect.
I was watching it when it was on Netflix a couple of years ago, and it has some really good guest stars and stuff on it that you would really not expect to be on Pee-wee's Playhouse. You're like, what, that motherfucker's on there?
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah,
he was
back
a
in the
regular.
day.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
the cowboy.
Fishburne.
He was a cowboy, yeah.
Look at that. I mean, isn't that the best?
Great set.
Don't you want to live there? I mean,
Yeah,
Doug's
I do.
trying to live there his whole life.
You definitely want to eat mushrooms on that set.
You already have, bro. I
Uh-huh.
mean, look at it. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
He was
Yeah, it
great.
was sad. Normally celebrity deaths are like, all right, that's fine. You know, it happens. But that one kind of got me a little bit. Like that dude, I always felt bad about how he got treated after getting caught jacking off in a jack off.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't know he had
Or
cancer or anything, and then I bet you that's why he kind of kept the lid on his cancer and stuff. I bet, you know.
Yeah, some people.
Yeah, I'd
just
have
know
to
it's like-
relive everyone like going over.
Yeah, everybody
Details
would
again.
focus more on that. As soon as it came
Right.
out that he had cancer, everybody would. As what first thing I thought, I was like, "Oh, poor bastard! He had to keep his cancer quiet because people would
Yeah, he couldn't
make
get any of
jerking
that
off
fucking-
jokes about his cancer."
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, look, of course
I
you're
mean,
gonna
we
jerk off
would.
in a theater. How long could you go without fucking that chair? I mean, if you had that chair, how long could you go without fucking it?
Yeah, it's got a
A
mouth.
week? 2 weeks? Eventually, you and that chair are gonna get some business done. That's all I'm saying.
Eat
That
some
chair
gooey.
looks like a top.
Yeah, you'd want to put a gooey clam down.
You don't know what that chair's packing.
Yeah, those ain't legs.
It's got teeth though.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Here, I got it right here. Ah, right there. Oh yeah, watch
Yeah.
out.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
look at those lashes. Those are those pretty eyes. Yeah, I'm turned on right now.
That's a pretty sexy toilet.
It's kind of Lidsville-y, Sid and Marty Croft.
Pretty Sexy Toilet would be a good name for an album.
Yeah. Paul Reubens, 70. I didn't know he was 70.
Yeah.
He was good in the movie Blow. Remember Blow?
Yes.
I think that was like a
His dramatic roles were always good. You were
Yeah, I
always
wish he-
surprised.
He should have just, yeah. I mean, that was the thing. It's like he couldn't go back to Pee-wee because everybody couldn't separate a physical act that he performed
Also,
on himself
Yeah.
with
Also,
no
there was-
witnesses except for the guy who was there to bust people who might be doing that.
Yeah.
I
There's
like his
also
defense.
nothing left to do with Pee-wee. Like they did 2 movies. They did the play out. You know what I mean? Like you have to know when to stop doing a thing and move on to the next thing. He was just
Yeah,
great in
he
everything he
stopped,
did.
and
I
then, yeah, he came back, right, and did another run of it like 10 years later or something,
think they did a
live show or some shit.
Yeah, yeah. Which
Reboot.
is, that's fine, but
cash grab.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't
Well,
do
shit,
it
he
for
built
everyone.
that character to such a thing, and then not to be able to take advantage of live performance later on is bullshit for jacking off, man. Maybe there were people painting his apartment or something, and he couldn't be. There are reasons you get. It's like you got to do laundry, and if your wash machine's broke down, you're going to go to the laundromat.
Oh, wait, maybe it's even like, hey, we're just walking along the street, and then all of a sudden he saw this, this weirdo friend that used to always bother him and try to have a conversation with him all the time, like, oh fuck, Ned Ryerson, like I don't want to talk to Ned Ryerson. You're like, what do I do? And you like just bolt right into the fucking, I'll take fucking 1 ticket for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in a movie theater, you're just hiding from Ned Ryerson. The next thing you know,
It's like when Chad we had to use the toilet, and we bought overpriced drinks in some bar so Chad could use the toilet.
exactly. You don't know why he was in
If
there.
he could have made it back to his place and used the toilet, that would have been great. But that's not how nature works sometimes.
Well, he did sit for 5 movies.
Well, I think that the rotating nature of that is just
Yeah.
telling you it doesn't matter what's on. Just come on in, have some popcorn, take a load off, and enjoy the air conditioning.
They advertise the air conditioning, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at a regular movie theater, they
thing they
make
said
all of
is
their
like-
money. They make all of their money on concessions. What does a porno theater make their money on? Is
Lube.
it just the ticket
yeah,
price?
ticket price and hand wipes. I
Hand
don't know.
sanitizer?
Lou,
No, I mean they kind of know.
you want everything buttered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing. We just don't serve it on popcorn.
Hey,
Our
why
pop-
do you ask?
Our popcorn is extra dry. Well, I want butter on mine. That'll be $35.
Yeah.
And it
not
hits you in the face.
It's actually not popcorn. It's called poppers, and they go in your asshole. Right? I mean, that's what the I went into the Mitchell brothers. Remember those fellows? I think they're still their thing is still in Frisco, but it was a multi-roomed adult theater. And there was a lot of that going on
I don't know
there.
anything about what you're talking about right now.
There was a movie made about them with the Sheen
Are you
brothers.
talking about North Beach?
It was like one of the first big porn stores, and it was in San Francisco. Maybe the brothers weren't Mitchell's, Farley brothers. No, that's the
No.
movie making.
No, first of all, it wasn't the Farley brothers. That's Chris Farley. You're thinking of the Farrelly
Farrelly.
brothers.
Barely.
And it also wasn't them.
Yeah, Farley's.
You're thinking of the second landlord from
I think
Well,
Emilio
company.
Estevez played this guy in a movie, but it was 2 brothers who started a porn business. But anyway, I went in there and there was shenanigans afoot in that place. There was a movie going on, and then girls would ask fellers, or me in particular, asked if I would like some company for the movie. And it was a movie where people were having sex.
That's the O'Farrell Theater,
O'Farrell,
and it's the
Brother.
Mitchell brothers.
Missy. Yeah, that was it. Oh
You
yeah.
finally got a name right. It's
Mm,
2
kinda,
guys
I
who do porn.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah, and then I saw people. There was fellas jacking off in there. It's like the whole place was like,
So why were you in there? What was it?
Investigations.
tourist had heard about.
He was
Were
trying to
you
get
doing
away
some
from,
research?
There's a cool history of that place and shit.
He was trying to get away from
Are
Ryerson.
you a whistleblower?
Sometimes you can't find the sand.
Hey, how much do you like Christmas shopping? I don't want to hang out and do it a lot. So I go, I'm gonna do some shopping up here. I don't want anyone to see what I'm getting. And then they go up, and then I don't
What
have
are
a
you
high-rated
doing
kids show that people are gonna be upset if I'm caught
Yeah.
wanking off inside of a
Wait,
theater.
did you set a bag of Christmas gifts in the seat next to you when you sat down to the Mitchell Brothers film
Yeah, and then I drilled a hole in the bottom of the popcorn and I sat there.
for yourself?
But when somebody asks you if you want company, you need to ask about pricing.
Right away.
Like, in that situation, you can't go, oh, I thought I'm good looking and, this is interesting. Wow. She doesn't have a top on. She's working, she just happens to be at the movie when I'm there. But it was I paid $50 for some company.
Oh, you did?
I did, but it was,
Oh.
at first I just thought, cool. Yeah, I'd like some company.
Christmas shopping done.
I mean, I was just,
Just
I was
thought you were lucky.
I was thinking
Yeah.
about Pee Wee Herman and myself, and then somebody offers to be an intermediary, and I thought, fine, cool, and then little tug, sure, and then if you'd like to, me to keep hanging out, all right, let me see. I had to hit an ATM.
Your ATM.
So
when
she
people
got a
say-
happy ending.
When people say they want you to, just at Christmas, I want you to just, get something that you'll be happy with. So I guess kind of what I, in lieu of other gifts, I spent unplanned 50 that I was, would have just bought an oven mitten or some kitchen doily.
I think you did it right. It sounds like to me, anytime you go Christmas shopping and it can end with a hooker jacking you off in a theater.
Oh, we didn't use that word.
Whoa. This was a paying
Theater?
customer, Erickson.
It was a theater, Andy.
Yeah. It didn't say like Arthur. Oh, you're a hooker? I just
Andy,
thought you were really into me.
you go up to the box office and go, 1 please, and they give you a ticket.
Yeah.
And then you go, and then a gal comes up, a topless gal comes up to you and
Andy's
says,
picking out licorice whips.
I
"Are
had
these
Junior
milk
Mints.
duds fresh? They look like they've been here a while."
Yeah.
I didn't know, I walked in there as a bit of a naive. I saw the sign and I was interested, it was like, oh, okay, I'm Christmas shopping for girls.
Maybe a little research, see what they're
Yeah,
into.
yeah, they like to get wild, right? My kid
Oh
did.
my
She'd stay up
God.
late and
You know, when you buy one ticket to that show, like a bell, like a light goes
Light goes off in the back
in the room in the back, like, yeah,
Carla, you're up.
next, Marie.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
the other
Alright.
fellas that you saw in there, did they have help or were
no,
they
I mean, a
solo
lot
in
of
it?
fellas were just taking matters into their own
Yeah.
hand. Maybe
They were sitting behind Andy.
maybe they already had sticker shock because it was you had to pay to get in there. And then I was like, I'm capping my Christmas funds, just on a whim.
Oh my God.
So Andy, this gal, she worked you after you already sat down, or she caught you like
No,
looking for a
I was
seat,
just sitting down and just getting my bearings. I didn't even know.
adjusting your eyes
I
and
mean,
such.
it was like there were different rooms, so you could go look at women through glass.
Oh,
You could
wow.
go watch a movie. I think there was some shower scenarios, and I was, I knew all those would involve higher, paying, but I said, go sit in here,
Or tokens.
catch up on, the latest, just watch the previews or whatever.
Hey, you were there for the coming attractions?
Coming attractions.
Yeah, he sure was.
Yeah, he was.
Apparently, I was one of them. So yeah. I mean, if you got paid $50 for that short a work session, that's pretty good money.
So she plumped down
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 there.
right next to you and
On
said,
my-
"Hey,
On my right, and then sat across, and she asked if I wanted company, which I said yes, and then she gave me a little bit of a hand job, and then all of a sudden it wasn't about.
Wait, what do you mean a little bit of a hand job? Like just 2 fingers or
It's
all
just well,
4?
it's just right,
She had tiny
all
hands?
enthused
Right.
Enough
about it.
of one or what?
Like looked
A
at
rub?
like acted like it was all great, ooh, like that kind of,
Did she take your dick out and touch it?
yeah, well, not till the money come out.
She was a pro, man.
Not
That's a
to- yeah,
professional.
fool
until
me
I-
once."
Not till I returned from the ATM.
Wow,
Keeping your seat
you always
warm.
know it's a good movie when you go to the ATM during it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to keep good bookkeeping, so I wrote like Christmas, Christmas on the. Well, you had a checkbook, and so you'd want to keep track of your receipts, whatever.
And
Christmas
Andy's
fund.
trying to figure out how he's going to explain these empty boxes under the Christmas tree. Well, I did spend $150, but
man.
That
back
was
under
gonna
the
be
tree.
Back then, Christmas was a frenzy, so $50 isn't going to be missed under the tree. And it was, it was
Good
a
for you.
holiday cheer,
Good for
Uh,
you.
but
You did it right.
And now
Yeah.
you got a
I
great
think
story.
that every time you go Christmas shopping, you have to buy all these gifts and you have to do all that whole frenzy shit. You should go to a movie theater and a pretty woman should, I don't know if she's pretty, a woman should come up to you and say
a
something
topless
nice,
woman.
well, that's
compliment
why
you.
that's
She
how
should
Black
compliment
Friday.
you, make you feel good, and then she should take your dick out and jack you off and
Isn't
to
that why-
completion.
Isn't
and
that
then
how Black
Christmas should
Friday
go
got
on from
started?
there.
like Black Friday initially, you know, the dudes would send their wives off shopping and then they would hit the urban areas of town, pick up the hookers.
I don't think that's
No,
what Black Friday
I know.
means, Andy.
I know. I just watched Green River Killer and most of his hookers were white, or a lot of them. He killed a lot. Green River.
Yeah.
He's a prolific. Sorry to sidetrack things with the Green
Wow,
River.
we went a different direction.
Yeah. Let's bring it back to earth, man.
We were just talking about the joy of how Christmas
know.
should be.
Yeah, Christmas,
With
the
an
Christmas
H
season.
day, every
We're
man
talking
would go
about
to a
The
Christmas
birth
hand
of our
jobs.
Savior Jesus Christ, and how we can
That dude-
celebrate it by getting
dude
jacked
had
off
a-
by a hooker in a theater.
That dude had a real unhealthy attitude towards women. He needed to hang out there with me at the Farrell Theater and just
Yeah.
be cool instead of
Be cool, bro.
Yeah.
He might have been. Actually, Green
Well-
River, that was up in Seattle,
Yeah.
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 Tacoma.
I thought I had a there was a dude I suspected was him for a while because he was active a long time.
Wait, you were a detective on the force?
I did a little sleuthing on this guy who's a weird fuck that was from that area. He had altered his face after he got dumped by a woman. He stalked when he was like a creepy workplace stalker type, and he got broke up with by a woman and got a plastic surgery and had his face it was a weird looking face. So I don't know what he had before, but so yeah, I think I even gave I called up with a name to, task force drop.
Oh, you gave an anonymous tip.
Yeah, I forget his name now, but he's a
Gary
weird.
So did the
Ridgway.
police. So
I forget-
like you sent the police on a wild goose chase after some poor bastard who only just changed he was so racked by getting broken up by his girlfriend that he got like Botox and a nose job.
Yeah, he started
Andy's
working
like,
out and eating
This
better.
guy's definitely killed 40 women.
He gave me the creeps.
Turns out it wasn't him.
It wasn't
No, it
him.
wasn't him
this
at all.
guy. It
Just
was
some poor
Gary.
bastard.
It was fucking Gary. He surprised people too, because Gary had a pretty, low key lifestyle. He had a woman who believed in him, and I think he had some kids.
Yeah.
Which, they always like to have.
The
But
Green River Killer, Gary?
yeah, he
Yeah.
fucking. Here's
Gary
the thing about
Ridgway.
him.
I don't know who the guy was. I don't know.
Oh,
who
yeah.
Well, he's a killer.
I mean, I remember that. I
But
know
he,
the story of the Green
Here's
River
what
Killer,
he
but
got away with killing. I don't know. He killed about 70.
he was a trucker, right?
Yeah, well, he worked at he was a mechanic or something, but he drove a maroon old style truck and he drove this Seattle. I was like, how does that kind of a rig fly under the radar for so long? It wasn't like he was in like just something you don't notice. Like a maroon truck is kind of a turd. It's an odd color and shit, but
Mhm.
yeah, he was into the fucking going back and partying with them later too. So
After
was
they were
dead.
dead,
yeah,
he was a necrophiliac.
well, eventually, because I don't even know eventually, but yeah, he was into that shit. He'd go out there and fucking
Wow.
party with them. So
I don't
he's
know
a
if
bit.
party's the right verb there.
Well,
At least view
but-
him. Yeah, I don't know if he.
I mean, I'm
would-
saying his point of view, he probably wanted to go out and
yeah,
if
he
I was-
enjoyed his.
I
concept.
had a beer after Nature Jack, and I can't imagine ever going out to visit a fucking
Decapitated corpse.
yeah.
You in the clam hole.
Yeah.
One puddle's the same as another.
Yeah, dude, you said a mouthful right there.
It looks
Yeah.
like he had 48 guilty.
48.
48 says
That they
48
found.
times guilty on a news article, but there's probably more.
And he is an ego guy too. He was like, he wanted to be the best, he wanted to be number one. And
Well,
shit.
I mean, that seems, that's like the fact that we don't know more about this guy, honestly, is like that just proves he wasn't good at social media. Like Ted
I would
Bundy wasn't.
cast. I would
Well, this
cast.
was a
Bundy
while
wasn't in
ago,
this guy's
dude.
league.
Okay.
This
Here's
was
the
was a
thing.
while
a
ago.
lot of years.
Of
I know.
course, but Ted Bundy still wasn't in this guy's league.
I
You could-
know. I know Mark Wahlberg's all trying to be a Jesus guy or whatever, but Mark Wahlberg would be a good Gary Ridgway in the movie. Anyway, I'm just
That's
throwing it
it.
out there,
That's
Hollywood.
it right
I
there.
know we're
Go
on
ahead.
strike.
Give him-
Casting suggestions.
He's too muscly to be a Gary Ridgway.
Yeah, maybe he could lose some muscle for the
Yeah.
role.
Yeah, so this is the
It'd be like a
1980s
Christian
to the
Bale.
1990s.
He skinnied up.
Yeah, and he took some high. He got he took a break from it, and once he got married again, then you know how that is.
Oh man, the
It
old
says
ball and
here-
chain.
Yeah,
It
the whole
says
ball
here
and
he
chain.
was believed to have murdered at least 71 teenage girls and women near Seattle and Tacoma in Washington, and that the majority of the murders occurred between 82 and 84.
Oh my
How
god.
do you get a regular job done
Mhm.
and have that much activity?
That's
I
Night
thought it was
Stalker
over
level.
more years than that. Fuck.
It was, but the majority of the killings
Oh.
it says here was 82 to 84. I'm just reading off Wikipedia.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he goes back and visits some of them, and it's like it's hard enough to have a girlfriend on the side.
Imagine.
Not that I would know.
78
them.
girlfriends.
How would I know? But I'm just saying that people that it seems like a lot of energy. And speaking out of
Yeah.
my asshole,
It's really romantic if you think about it.
it's just a weird. It makes his story like. It's like, he's like Jeffrey Dahmer. It's as weird and creepy as Dahmer by far. And this guy, I'm not advocating for him but he should have a bigger Netflix series than the one and done.
That's exactly what I was just saying. How do we not know more about Gary Ridgway?
I
mean,
did.
There's been a million things about Ted Bundy. He
I
just
read.
he wasn't good at, social
I read
media.
it
He wasn't
after I met
interested
that
in it.
creepy dude. I read a couple of different books on the Green River Killer, and then I called out I left a tip on the thing because I just like fuck it. If his name's out there, if this guy's name rings a bell, that's all. I wasn't saying I think I got your guy or anything. I just said you might be interested in looking at this guy.
Put your most junior detective on this.
Well, it could have been, I could have been the one who was like, how did you solve it? And it's like, yeah, this guy creeped me out at the something bar. And kept
He also
staring
told
at
me he
this,
killed 78 women.
he kept staring at this chick that I was staring at. And I kept noticing this creepy fuck giving this weird fucking horror the eye. And it creeped me out, man. And I had like my spider senses or whatever.
What else? He's ugly. Yeah,
He's
he's
ugly?
ugly.
Fucking looks like a melted big Jim doll. And
He
believe
looks
me, I
like
know what that
BT.
looks
He
like.
looks like BTK. Remember BTK?
Oh yeah,
Pull
Gary.
him up again.
He was kind of he was
Gary.
when he was younger. He had he well, he aged like you'd think he would, but he had a little more handsomeness to him as a younger man when he was probably doing the killing.
But what's really weird is in 82 is when they found the first body, right? So in 87, police search his home and his vehicles because he was the last person seen with at least two of the victims. And they take samples from him, but there's insufficient evidence to arrest him. And then they don't do anything until fast forward from 1987, fast forward to March 2001.
What?
And they don't even
14
actually,
years.
they don't even arrest him until November of end of November of 2001.
So how many people did he kill from 1987 to 2001? Probably 30.
But it doesn't say that. It just
more
says
modest
that
numbers, but
48 is the number that he was tried for, but they think it was higher, like 71 is what I read.
Wow.
yeah, well, check out his net. That's he's got a show on net or a show about him and interviews with him. He's very fucking matter of factly, fucking remorseless, fucking
About his crime.
Yeah, and he liked to go out to the crime scenes and stuff because he would like get to revisit them, and that's where they started piecing together that he was also
Well, I guess he disposed of a lot of the bodies at a near or at a cemetery, Mountain View Cemetery.
He's just eliminating the middleman. I think that's
Well, I mean, yeah,
kind of-
I mean, there's
Here you
probably
go.
always someone walking around a cemetery by themselves.
with a
Yeah.
shovel.
You don't have to
That
disguise the
smells like
smell.
something dead around here. Oh yeah, I'm by a
Wait, was he
cemetery.
burying them at the cemetery or was he just dropping them off?
Disposing of the bodies. I guess there was a ravine or something that they found one of the bodies.
They were
in
taking him to the
years
train
later.
station.
Yeah.
You don't want to bury him too deep if you're gonna have to come back and have
Fuck him
relations
later.
with him again.
You want to? Well, how would you bury him Ass up. I mean, that's how I would.
Well, I guess you would like a luau with a pig, you know, just
Just
not
like a-
In taro leaves on top of hot rocks.
right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not into that business, and shame on him. for
I'm
doing
not saying I do necrophilia. I'm just
Yeah.
saying if I did, it would be like a Hawaiian luau.
I like to run the thing like a MacGyver. If you're gonna come back, you don't want to be too deep, or they'll start decomposing faster. And it's a
Will
lot
they?
of work. I don't. I'm
I
not a
like when
science
Erickson-
guy.
I like when Erickson said ass up. I pictured like a branch like sticking out of the
Yeah.
ass, like so it was all disguised. And you could
Just,
just
yeah,
constantly
cover it up.
come
Yeah,
over
you
and
don't
move
wanna-
the brush, and there
You
it
don't want to
is.
be obvious.
Just
That's
right
why-
there.
That's
Yeah.
why he needs a 6-part limited series that doesn't worry about the feelings of the victims' families. And shame on them for making it. You know, I think they should take into consideration the victims' families, of course, but it ruins the show, as we saw with Dahmer.
They should make it in 3D where the victims come flying
Flying
past
past you?
us.
That's called IMAX. And it's a ripoff when there's too much talking. I've seen other reviews since then that I got
Of
roped into.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, well, just don't worry about watching it in IMAX because it's just a lot of talking.
Right.
And
I
I read
can't-
one.
I
It's like
can't watch
find the
IMAX.
biggest screen.
I can't
Yeah.
watch IMAX anyway because it's just I get like nauseous, like I'm on a roller coaster. It's too much.
Yeah, and it
Much
ain't very
movement.
good.
Not in
3D.
this one. It's just talking.
Yeah, well, not in this one, but I mean, I saw Transformers.
This
I
is the
think,
one you
in
should
IMAX.
watch. Well, first of
Yeah.
all,
Like a
Transformers.
talking roller coaster.
You don't want Megan Fox in IMAX? Come on,
I probably didn't even make it as long as to see Megan Fox.
that's
I,
a pretty stupid. Those have to.
it was.
be-
I was with Duran, and it was on a night off, and everyone wanted to go to the movies, and they know I'm gonna fall asleep, so my vote for a movie is totally
Oh, you should-
So wait,
disregarded.
your vote, they took you, they knew you were gonna fall asleep. So they took
Yeah.
you to a Michael Bay movie, the loudest
Yep.
Mhm.
possible movie you could ever see.
Yep.
Good for them.
Yep.
That was a prank on you. You didn't even know it.
I fell asleep.
It might not have worked.
Between getting sick and falling asleep. I fell asleep before I got sick.
Perfect.
On Golden Pond would be a nice one to see while you're.
That's a sleeper.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's why. Yeah, I don't want to get into the rat story. After
what?
that was a showing of On Golden Pond where I wanted to release the rat in the mall. It just didn't release. But that was
He
my.
became your friend.
It was a horrifying time in my life. Like, you know, it's like I crossed an edge, crossed a line, and if old people would have fallen and gotten hurt after watching, on Golden Pond, you know, it's a fucking, you know, I've seen the movie and it's a, you know,
Wait,
you come
wait.
out of that old.
We got to
people-
back up a little
Wait,
bit here.
you were
Randy.
trying to release you tried to release a rat
Yeah,
into all,
I
on
told-
Golden
I told-
Pond?
Wait, hold on, but wait.
we
The,
had a
the plan
problematic-
was to go to a movie that
No,
was like,
the-
okay, what was the
I-
plan?
we had a problematic rat. I thought it was like funny to buy it because it was like it looked vicious and it was $5.
Wait, you bought the rat.
Yeah, we bought a rat for it was in college and people were assholes. There was a rat for $5 and we thought, cool, we'll have this fucking rat. But after a while, having a rat that wants to bite people isn't very, it isn't cool. You got to have a cage.
Your idea was to take it to a movie theater and let it out.
No,
you came to the
initially
realization that
there
you
was
need to
always-
have
no,
a cage.
it was 2 other ugly ideas before that of it dying in a sauna, and that takes too long, and then jamming it into the garbage disposal and turning on the thing. And both of those I felt like were inhumane, and I wouldn't want to
Let a
be.
Chinese lady eat it live.
She wasn't an option. So
Not
we
then,
could have.
no.
So
I
you
don't
took
know.
it to a movie
I
theater.
come up with fucked up ideas, and no, we took it to the mall, and we had it in a bag, and we were trying to get it to.
That'll do it.
Yeah, we wanted it to take off and have some, have a good time.
Pizza rat.
Yeah, and then it wouldn't go out of the bag, so we moved around the mall a little bit, and there was a movie that was letting out, and it happened to be that one on Golden Pond. special Saturday screening. I don't even know if it was current
Matinee.
matinee with 4 other movies about firemen. But this was the old folks were coming out, and then and the bag was under the bench, and I walked away from it and went upstairs, and we were all laughing, watching, and then it's just the horrors of what could have happened. You know, you don't think about it. It's all fun. And then all of a sudden a vicious rat might come out and knock over old people, because that was what we were hoping for. And then it just kept clicking around in the bag and then a security guy come over and sat down, and a lady pointed that the bag was moving, and the security guy sat there, and then he nabbed it up. And as we were leaving the mall, because it was like, well, you know, beat it. I think it was you could have a little more fun back then, because there wasn't cameras on, you know, invading your privacy every inch of the way. So you could put a rat down there, but there was no payoff, and thank God, because I would, you know, or thank Mullah or whoever, Mohammed or Mother Earth, that because if an old person would have fallen, then maybe they would have found out, you know. Maybe there was a receipt in the bag, or, you know.
Andy's wallet with the rat.
Andy bought an orange Julius on his way to drop the rat off at the fucking.
There's a receipt for Christmas shopping at O'Farrell's Theater. a book of matches.
Oh wait, it's the Jackoff King.
So yeah, that was a you know, a good occasion. But as we were leaving the mall, it said, would the person or persons, so you know, maybe they knew already it was 3 of us that left the small pet in a Mervin's bag, please come to security and reclaim it. Like it was a kitten, you know, not a rat. It was probably pretty exhausted from the sauna and the sink drama.
Andy, this was a rat from a pet store, though, right?
It was, but it was a, you know, like it went for, you know.
But a rat from a pet store looks different than a rat from
like a Norwegian wood rat or something. From a
was
ship.
it white? Was it a white rat? Was it?
That was gray. It was gray.
Well, the security guards knew right away, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like Doug will be when he's old.
Yeah. Well, and you know, so I'm glad that nobody got hurt, because that was I could have lived a whole different life, you know, hurting old people and finding it amusing, taking them out into,
that could have been a slippery slope,
dragging old people, you know, the work with a rat team,
spending all your money on rats.
And then the old people wake up and they're out in the Green River district getting pooned in their dead assholes. It's not me, lady. I'm putting a gooey clap up there. Maybe that's what happened to Ridgeway. I don't know.
Fuck.
We'll probably
It's the best way to store them.
What?
It's the best way to store them when you're not using them.
Oh, was it him? There's somebody who I think one of his problems, one of the areas of error, he was put a rock up their vagina, up one of their vaginas.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Green River.
Oh, okay.
Up one of their vaginas.
Yeah, he put a rock up her vagina after he came in her, and then he put sunk her and but he put a rock, and that helped preserve his DNA.
Oh man, he thought it was going to help it, but it.
Yeah, he thought it would sink her, or he's just being weird.
Sink her.
Well, I mean, you need a
How
lot
big
of
was her pussy?
Oh man,
How big was her pussy? If he was a fear in the rock would sink her.
A lot of them are young ladies, man. When they're the hookers, these were like turned out sex workers. I don't even think most of them were.
But it wasn't the entrance
Can
to
you
a
be
cave.
a hooker underage? I think you have to be 18 to go. I'm a hooker.
Well,
These were not hookers; they were sex
Children.
hostages or whatever. But
you tend not to get a lot of business if you say you're younger.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You get more business. You just can't advertise.
Right. Yeah. They end up killing you.
Yeah.
But shame on him. And man, yeah, welcome to the, you know, I mean, you don't know who Michael Jordan is? The GOAT?
The Michael Jordan of serial killers?
Well, kind of the GOAT. Outside, you know, who the most prolific killers, though, is always like a night nurse. Night nurse over the course of a career kills thousands.
Oh, like a Black Widow killer.
Yeah. There's a couple of those that I've read about that, you know, it's just like, it's a real gray area. I killed somebody, but they only had one more year left.
I was
Yeah,
doing
it's
the world a
fucking-
favor.
yeah, but that's what they do it, and then they fucking get off on it, I guess. I you know, fuck, exiting, or maybe they get a happy, you know, Jesus odd, and you know, thinking they're
Yeah, it's a
sending
power
people to
trip.
heaven. Yeah,
And
I'd
no one
use the
knows about
trap.
it, so you're getting away with something, which is also
I would
thrilling.
catapult them, and they would know it was coming.
Yeah,
You know,
So,
that's
it
Andy,
freaks out.
do you know the most prolific serial killer? Who it is?
Hitler.
Genghis Khan,
I would go
No.
Hitler.
Not,
No?
it's not. It's not anything like that. It's
the
it's
king
someone
of
who's actually-
Belgium,
What's that?
the king of Belgium. Belgium invaded Africa, and
But
the
that's
country of
war.
Belgium killed more Africans than, and this is not to deny the Holocaust, but Belgium killed almost as many Africans as Hitler killed Jews. I think that's true.
Did they ever
Due
go
to the
head to
slave
head?
trade?
No, they just colonized an area and they wiped everybody the fuck
Oh.
out. And it was like a thing that no one ever talks about. I read about it somewhere. I can't
They
remember.
probably redid their history a few years ago. Yeah, we're not going to mention that in the Belgian history classes.
Yeah, they don't talk about it because Belgians are white. So,
Yeah, they should classify that.
so
But I
who
think
was the most prolific serial
The
killer?
most prolific serial killer was a guy named Samuel Little, and he
Stuart
killed
Little, the little mouse that drove a car.
yeah,
No, Samuel Little. I said
Oh.
I made a
is that
mistake.
him?
Yeah. Oh, here. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. He confessed. He was it 93 women between 1970 and 2005.
Samuel
Yeah.
Little.
I never heard of him.
It's
I think-
racist that we don't know
I
anything
know,
about
it
this
is
guy.
racist.
I think I listened to a audiobook about
He's
this guy.
his
Jeffrey Dahmer's got like 10 shows. This guy.
his,
Absolutely.
his nickname was the choke and stroke killer.
Well, that's why. That's too long a nickname.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
maybe
not
I
it's
did
not
say-
a sexy name.
I was gonna say that whole name. Look, it's a good name. Choke and stroke.
I think Billy
Right.
Squire wrote a song about him.
Choke and stroke
Choke
man.
me.
Yeah.
Stroke.
Have you heard the news? And it
And
was
also
about
stroke.
this guy getting caught. Huh. So he when did he operate?
It's 1970 to 2005.
Is he
Huh.
dead? Did they execute him?
He died at the age of 80 in 2020.
Oh my god.
We could
What
have
a
had him on.
monster.
Oh no, he would. Oh,
He
yeah,
had
we could've
4
had him on the
consecutive
podcast.
life sentences. 60 confirmed kills, 93 claimed and suspected.
Wow.
You'd have to go.
I've never
Heaven
heard of this
Ridgeway.
guy.
Never heard of him.
What area?
Never
was
heard
he
of
in?
him.
I'm looking. Hold on. Let me see.
I'm sure
A
I
lot of
must
time-
have listened to a thing about this dude.
Cannot believe Stuart Little killed all these people.
Yeah. Where did he have time to do that movie?
That's why. I mean,
He
that's
just
why.
did the voice. He
why
was
it's covered
choking.
up.
He did the voice while he was choking a bitch or a woman that he shouldn't have choked.
Looked like California, Chad.
Hmm.
And then
That's wild.
he moved around a lot.
That's
And,
what.
and he was
helped
in and
him
out of
grow.
prison during this. Jesus Christ. This guy's getting convicted of breaking and entering. And I mean, early on. So, I mean, forever. This guy was in and out of the prison.
He's got the fingernails of a fucking weirdo killer. Look at those. That just looks like Renfield right there. That's just
Well,
weird.
he's been in prison for
You can-
years at
you-
this point.
Yeah,
they like
prison
you nail
food.
clippers.
We gotta fucking work to get nail clippers. You gotta have, put in a request.
Oh my god! Can't you just have your bitch bite them off? I mean, if you got 70 confirmed kills, you got a bitch in prison, right?
Well, probably he had his own space.
Yeah.
Guys they can keep those guys out of the general because he don't want to add to his
Oh,
number.
he's not in Gen Pop because he's too
Shooting
cool.
fish in a bucket there. He's-
Yeah, he was all over the country. Maybe that's probably why
Yeah,
they
yeah.
kept pinning him down, because he was Florida, Georgia, Louisiana,
trucker?
Ohio, Tennessee, Texas, Illinois,
It'd be so easy to
Mississippi.
do,
South Carolina.
Hey now.
Easy, Chad. Laying in
Tar
his hammock
Canyon.
up on top of the mountain, nothing around. He's like, you know what I could do? I could kill a bunch of motherfuckers.
Wow, that's fucking crazy. So weird though that none of us, except for Chad, thinks
Never
he may have
heard of him.
but like you'd think it'd be the the number one thing that would come up when you talk about
Yeah.
serial killers.
Yeah, they make too big a deal about some who, like Charlie Manson really, it's a bummer what he did and everything, but it's like, because of the shit they wrote on the walls or whatever. It's like,
Well, also because he,
this
he
guy
killed
is grinding
famous
it out.
people, and also
Yeah.
he didn't do it. He got other people to do it, which is fascinating.
Mhm.
Fascinating to be the kind of person who can talk someone into committing a horrific crime.
Hey, we're not going to get political.
Well, I'm just saying this podcast is pretty good. You should join our Patreon.
Yeah.
$5 a month. James Inman's a Patreon subscriber.
Learn.
If he thinks it's a good idea, you should think it's a good idea.
James says that that's the best $5 you can spend.
It's the best $4.40 you'll ever spend a month. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say this right here. If you're watching this right now and you give us $4.40, we'll sign you up for a month. It's plain and simple. You'll make
Wait.
squirrels.
Who are you talking to?
Anyone who
Inman.
pays $4.40.
No, James James Inman.
No. Anyone.
That's too much work, dude. I don't even know how to do that.
No one will do it, Chaille. No one will do it. But if they did, we will do it.
Or tell them to fuck
Just
off.
to prove them. Come on. I mean,
Your results may vary.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
This is in no way an offer.
I'm a subscriber.
That's in the fine print at the bottom. This is in no way an offer. He's making an offer on the screen. This is
Hey, maybe you're like you're somebody who's like busy earning a lot of dough or whatever, and you don't have time to Patreon. You don't think you'll just buy it, AstroTurf this. AstroTurf it will fill it out like they did that movie about abducting kids. Send them,
yeah.
Sound of
just
Freedom?
buy it, and maybe
The
you don't
Sound
have
of
time to
Andy.
watch it or gift it to some. Sound of Andy.
There it is. No one has to actually watch. Just pay for it.
Yeah, that'd be
Perfect.
great.
That would be
What
fucking
says you have
great.
money more than just like buying something you don't need?
I wish we could get in on the grift of that whole pedophile thing and the whole right wing thing. Because here's what we could do. We could conceivably, if we were in on that grift, we could shut down the podcast. We wouldn't have to do any more work. We would just say, oh, they shut us down. Send us money to get us back on the air. We could take 6 weeks off and be like, oh, they shut us down on Patreon. They won't let us do it anymore.
When they
And
click
it would
on
just-
it's
the
just
money
Jimmy
would
Swaggart
roll in.
crying.
It's free speech.
Yeah. We'll go to Pizza Hut and yell at people for being pro pedophile.
Right. And we put a little clip on Instagram, more money rolls in. Eventually we come back to the podcast just to ask for more money.
Jimmy
I'll
Swaggart.
figure it
Or
out.
Jimmy Swaggart
Good
was
scam.
prepared to go to heaven. And his followers were like, fuck, no, we don't. I mean, we want you to go to heaven, but we're going to miss you. So how do we buy you out of this situation? And that's what you want. I mean, the folks that want to donate to the easy scams. I know hey, we're not saying Patreon's a scam. We're saying, who's a scam is that we give it away on YouTube for free. That's a scam.
Well, that's your fault, Andy, for getting cancer.
Oh yeah.
Changed it up so everyone
Well,
can travel through with.
No, it's whose fault it is I got cancer is spray foam for fires. I might have been near a first responder or a fire. I took
Class
photos
action
of
lawsuit.
fire. I think I got hit with some fire foam at
How
Costco.
many times did you get hit with fire foam?
Just enough.
Well, as an arsonist, he went to a lot of fires.
Oh,
Shady.
that is true.
Yeah.
I took photos of,
He was a journalist.
Yeah. Just doing
That's it.
research.
That's the newest one I've seen, and it actually has my cancer in there. So here's what
you're in.
I was riding around, spraying Roundup at Camp Lejeune, and a small fire breaks out.
Putting out fires with Roundup. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
and the
what I was
fireman-
told to do.
Fireman threw a bunch of foam all over the fucking fire, and I happened to be laying in the grass, chucking off. trying to grab a gooey duck out of the dirt. But yeah, that one I'm excited about because it mentions my cancer in particular. So like, fuck, all I got to do is prove.
Yeah, you're in.
You know,
you got a doctor's note for this one.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey Andy, you sent some videos. Did you want?
Oh
me to
yeah,
play those?
well,
Let's look at them.
as one was just my dog, old fat Riley. I took her to the beach because, but there was a guy to send a picture of. I stopped that guy from. There's Riley.
Let's look at Riley first.
Yeah,
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, look at her. She's
spry, man.
She
She's
did
loving
three.
life.
She did 3 short fetches, rolled in the dirt. I hoisted her ass up into the truck or in the car, and then when we were at the beach, yeah, she did that. Look at that shit.
All right, I recommended The Fool's Progress for Chad, who was reading Edward Abbey, but You and a Dying Dog is basically the whole, plot of The Fool's Progress. So you should also read it.
I stopped a crime in progress. I was eating at I parked right next to where I could sit at a table. It's just right by my car, sidewalk. There's a classic car show going, so there's a lot of old asshole types around. And I'm sitting having my dinner, and I get up and I go to my car to get I'm getting served or whatever, my bill, and I realize my credit card's in the car, whatever. So I go to get my car, and then this old hippie dude who I'd been watching smoke weed down a couple benches down, he goes, ask me what time it is. And I go, I don't have, I don't have a watch. So I go to my phone, which is sitting on a table by my wallet. And that dude, I go, it's 5:30, and then I think he was just too high. He wanted to take my wallet. That was his whole intention. He saw the wallet sitting there unattended, and he got up, and then he asked me what time it was, and then thought that would be a misdirect. But I focused on the table because that's where my phone was, and he was already in the progress of, I could read his mind. And like a Minority Report, I knew this old dude was getting ready to steal my wallet.
You got up and walked away from your wallet and your phone on a table.
Yeah, and this old that dude
sounds like a classic sting operation.
Yeah, and I catch him like red-handed. He reaches out and grabs my wallet, and I grab him by the back of the arm, and I said, "Not this one, Paps," and shoved him.
Burn.
I just gave him a shove, like in a nice way, and he just kind of went about his business like it didn't happen. And then the waitress
Is this the guy, Andy, in the picture?
Yeah, that's him. That's Wavy Gravy. The fucking he's not good at it, but he's clean. Is
that your bike?
I looked it over. No, but so the waitress comes out and he goes, "Oh, what should we?" She wanted like, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna press charges. And she goes, "Well, should we warn people?" And I don't know, man. And I was done anyway. I gave her my card to pay, and then I walked up the street. But I remembered seeing this group. There was a mega hat. There's also car magnets on a classic automobile.
Yeah.
And there were a big group. They were sitting there, and they were in their pints. So they just looked like people. I just like, but I saw this guy heading towards that table, and I'm like, what am I fucking? I'm not gonna warn these people.
The world police.
In fact, if I had time, I would have said, "Hey, man, let's smoke pot, come up with a plan, and I'll help you. I'll be your misdirect."
Yeah.
I'll do whatever. Draw their attention. Oh, my old dog or something. But he was like, I felt bad for him just because it's like, I know, how, it is to be a thief. And but when he's just like, it's no longer his time,
Right.
He's too slow. His impulses don't work.
Well, the fact that he brought the attention back to the table where your wallet was,
that's what I wanted.
Your phone was there. Like, to even say that, like, oh, he should have just let you walk.
Yeah. So I go, it's 5:30, and then he went right for the wallet. Like,
right.
He confused his own self. And we view things so fucking differently, man. It's so weird. Like, to me, even though that guy probably had nothing at all, like, to me, like, it's tit for tat. Like, now that dude just gave me permission now I get to punch that guy and knock him out and rob him. That's now that bike is my bike, and whatever is in this guy's pockets is mine.
Yeah, you played. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Like he started it, is how
Yeah.
I view it.
Yeah,
Actually, while I was sitting at the
that's
table.
Deadwood law, but I don't think
Absolutely.
that doesn't fly.
Yeah. I
Like,
just
Chad
I
is
felt,
the
kinda,
Chad
I
is
felt like I
woo.
was too rough on him just for touching his elbow. I just had to, I basically made a play like a defensive back, trying to keep him from catching the football.
You just gave him a
Yeah.
jerk,
Yeah,
and then he
Push
couldn't.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went about
Ask
it.
him if he wanted some company.
Yeah. I mean, we could have worked as a team, you know, I had nothing going on. Like
Well, you talking about
I'll help
Deadwood
you.
law.
I'll help you steal some wallets. You help me get that feral cat out of the brush I saw earlier. We'll call it good.
Well, first of all, that guy's probably got 3 feral cats in his coat.
Yeah,
You don't even need
that
the
was
one from the
Plan
bush.
B to
Yeah.
release the cats.
Release the
Yeah.
cats.
But yeah, it was kind of funny. But he was I was sitting next to, there was an obese fucking dude who seemed, anyway, I was suspicious that he was a pedophile. I could have go, you're a pedophile, sir.
Dude, you are just like your dad, making up stories and nicknames.
I was sitting right next to this table, and it was this big dude, and he was, you know, talking to his little daughter and his daughter's friend, and he just gave me the, you know, I called the task force and said, I think I got the Green River Killer. That guy was more creepy than
Sure,
me.
we got
you know.
that guy.
I was
Yeah.
more bothered by that dude than the guy trying to steal my wallet. For me, that's just like, you know, that's what happens.
Yeah, you walked
The guy who did
away from
absolutely nothing.
Andy. You walked away from a wallet and a phone on a table. I mean, that's just, you don't do that, right? I mean,
He
that's,
didn't know I was too careless to have anything valuable in there. My cash was
but
strewn in the
it doesn't
car.
matter. I
My
mean,
credit cards I had to search for.
don't leave your
just got-
wallet and phone on a table and walk away from it by yourself. I mean, that's just,
But I could blackmail that guy or whatever. Like, you know.
For what? What does he have? A pea coat?
He's got 2 different shoes. So
Yeah, you can get both of them.
you get another
Usually
sandal.
the
I'll
sign
take
of
them
someone
shoes.
walking with a lot of cash.
Yeah,
Would have
yeah.
been
They've
my
got
shoes.
2 different shoes.
If you see me as a potential lucrative fucking grab,
He didn't see you. He saw a wallet
A
and a
wallet,
phone sitting on a
low-hanging fruit.
table by itself.
That was the easiest thing
You
to
saw-
steal.
he
Yes,
saw what
you,
was- I
you
mean, he was-
tossed a fucking trout line into the fucking waters.
He was
And-
sitting right down from me though, so he saw, you know, it's
Either
like
way,
No,
No,
you
again,
advertise. You
he
saw-
advertise steal.
never
From me.
walk away. Pick up your wallet and phone when you leave a table. Just do it.
I might do like a chain on my wallet so I can walk away from it, and then if somebody goes near it, I'll jerk the chain.
Wait, like a 30-foot chain. I mean,
Yeah,
how-
like a
He's
like a-
paying out 30 feet
Like
of
a
fucking
dog
table.
yeah, like a
With a little
dog leash.
button.
it retracts.
Sorry, Paps. That wallet's in retrace mode or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't
took
blame
his-
the guy
I
for
took
stealing
his
your wallet.
shoes. He would have walked
Well-
away from there barefoot.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
the thing is
I
that
don't
we
blame
would-
him, Andy. You fucking deserved it. You were dressed like a whore, and that's why you got raped. You walked away from a wallet and a phone. I mean,
What I should have done is left my phone on the table and recorded the pervert next to me. He was just creepy. He was like too fucking happy and friendly to the kids.
yeah, it's creepy.
Fucking great, you know. I don't know. It's just if I get
I mean,
creeped
some
out
people
by
just
somebody.
like kids. I mean,
No,
they-
I know, but
That's
that's
Pedophiles,
crazy.
Shaylee, we've talked about it.
I'm
Well,
always
I'm
happy
not
and
saying he
friendly
was
to
like
the
out there,
grandkids. I'm
like
always
showing
trying
them how to
give
shoot pool bent over a pool table.
maybe if I didn't just see the movie Happiness, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, that might have been it.
I just think that, like you can be like, if you meet someone with a dog, you can say like, hey, let me pet your dog. Like I love dogs. Can I pet your dog? There was a truck driver today. I loaded up a cyber body on a flatbed. The trucker had a black lab mix in his truck. And I'm like, oh, a dog.
I
was like,
thought
yeah.
Elon kept
And
the
I'm like,
blacks
hey, the dog can
underground.
get out here and take a pee. Like I let the dog out. I like had a moment. I petted the dog. It made my fucking day.
Yeah.
But if you're a guy who's like, oh, you have a kid? Let me talk to your kid. Like, that's a pedophile every single time. Every single time.
Well, yeah,
There's
if
no
it's
reason to
not
be
your
talking to
own
kids who aren't
kid.
yours. If you're out in public and you see a kid who's not yours, do not talk to them. If you talk to them, you're a creep. That's
Well,
just a
this
fact
was,
of
yeah,
the
I just
what
see,
it
it was
is.
like he was like a Marco Polo type of, he just
Right.
creeped me out from his conversations or whatever. I think he's like, maybe that I shouldn't go out to eat. You know, I'm gonna get, like, I'm just sitting on a thing and then I'm like almost get robbed, and then this guy's creeping me out, and it's like the food sucked. Fish and chips, it sucked. I tried to
Well, maybe if
organize
you
the
were better
French
at
fries.
digging clams, you wouldn't have to get
Yeah,
fish.
man.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt
It's
like
all there
it's,
for free.
I wanted to go to the place where the fucking megas were sitting, and then it was like, yeah, fucking assholes. And then I went down this other one, so they kind of ruined it for me. Mega or the same ilk. I don't know. I don't want to put a label on them, but just groups of people who annoy me. Naggers, or like I said on South Park. I went to this coffee shop.
Oh, geez, this is a tough one. I don't think I should say it.
Yeah. People that annoy you. And, I am annoyed by people who cluster into a coffee place and have, oh, you know, what do you have? You know, like, I'm there alone, and I guess because of that, I don't want to be bothered by people who aren't solo assholes. It's like, let's just keep quiet. And the people, I forget, people are there vacationing and having a good time. I'm there to escape everybody and having a
Once
good
again, you're mad at someone for ordering a
here's the thing.
sandwich at a
Yeah.
shop where you went to order a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. And why all at once? You know, you're a crew.
Well,
Because
because
it's
it's
morning
lunchtime.
and it's a coffee shop. That's when people buy coffee.
These motherfuckers
Mhm.
coming in here all
Yeah.
friendly and laughing and having coffee at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Fuck
So I
you.
said, well, I said, no, I don't do that. That's confrontational. I said, so fuck me then, and leave.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, I felt like I was in line, but then there's other people who are like turning around, and then it's like it went from a 3-person line to now I think there's 5, and somebody's ordering a breakfast sandwich. Like, fucking assholes. So everybody's just in a good mood. Oh, you know, laughing and shit, and I just couldn't take it. So I left, and then I found a place that was suited for me and had better stuff. Maybe it was a
Good.
back alley one, and they made a $7 breakfast egg sandwich with cheese, $7 on a croissant, fresh
That's
baked.
not bad.
And then they said, do you want meat on it? And I thought, like, I don't even want to be greedy here. So I just had it as is for $7, and it was delicious. I
Good
sat
for
at
you.
the table. I wanted to go up and just like tell those other people, fucking disperse, man. You know, if everybody's here, it ruins the experience for everybody. But if we all find our own, yeah, I'm not going back to, well, I'll go to that other one. And if that one's ever full, I'll be like, you fucking cunts, you found this one, the one
Yeah.
that's been here 30 years with a reputation. Shit. But I think, you know, I'd like to vacation somewhere where other people are not around, or, you know, like, I like the idea. I mean, you know, I'd like the idea of being wealthy enough to just buy an island, because I would, like Chad, you know, when people show up at the campground, it's like, you feel like they're kind of infringing on what was there before. And
It totally changes the vibe when you get someplace for a day or two and there's nobody around. Like if Tracy and I go camping and we leave early, like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, nobody's there. And then Thursday rolls around and the trailers start pulling in.
Well, and then it's hard when you set like boundaries. Like, all right, there's people like you got, you know, people are going to listen to music. I've been listening to the
Yeah.
wind through the fucking pine trees. People are going to listen to music.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the people listen to news radio loud as fuck. And you're like,
Oh,
what the
boy.
fuck is God? Why are we listening to, and
you know,
then,
Hartman.
and then not like, just like real loud, just fucking,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Talk radio.
and talk radio. And then all of a sudden, pretty soon, one of the other neighbors walks down there. Did I ever tell you guys this story?
I don't
No.
remember it.
Okay. So one of the other neighbors walks down there to ask him to turn it down, I presume, because I won't do it because I'm afraid I'll murder somebody. So and I realized these people are turning on their radio super loud every time they leave their camp to go on a hike. So it looks like somebody's in their camp.
Someone's there.
So there's not
Oh,
even
no.
anybody there. So I'm forced to listen to this loud ass shit, whatever they decide to put on, the whole time they're
Right.
gone for 3 fucking days.
Wow.
It was like that. Yeah.
That's what happened to us in Panama.
That was us in Panama.
No, yeah,
That was
that
us
was
in-
you guys.
Yeah, we
And you guys
well,
got chatted.
when I say we, I was like tripping balls and asleep in my bunk, and the group at 1 a.m. or so went out to
Yeah.
go look at the donkeys or something, and they left the phone, the brand new iPhone, and the speaker, the little mini PA speaker, blaring music with nobody in camp. that was
Terrible
awake.
mistake.
Yeah, and
I
they
still
ended
feel
up
bad
stealing
about
our speaker
And-
and
yeah.
the iPhone.
And Boobs dumped her now.
I'm
so
glad Boobs dumped her. I
she
mean,
lost the
she's
phone.
clearly
Yeah, we
not
don't
up
have
to
to
snuff.
face her anymore.
I mean, thank God. I mean, she was not up to it.
Boobs did
sure.
all he could.
She was a sport, man. I liked her.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like them.
Not her
The
fault.
joke, Shaylee.
Boobs.
No,
boobs
I don't.
were nice.
You want it
I
out
still
there?
think about that is like that is the of all the times we've gone out to Panama, that's the only time something really bad has happened.
Because no, here's why though. Because you were in bed
Yeah.
and I was in Austin. If either one of us would have been in the group, we would have been like, wait, whoa, shut the music down before
Yeah, we
walk
can't
up
do
to the
that.
campsite.
Yeah.
We can't do that to everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a fact. That is a fact.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And because both of us weren't there, it was like a perfect storm of like, oh, I guess everything will be fine. And then they just all wandered off because they're all idiots.
Dingalings, all
The
of fucking
a dingling parade wandered away.
like
And
with their
there were no
fluorescent-
adults
with
there
their-
to take
yeah.
care of them. And this is what happens. And by the way, when we say there were no adults there to take care of them, we mean that Carrie Mitchell and Tracy Burnett were both there and neither one of them did anything.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
We
For
all
the
went
record.
away.
For the
Yeah,
record.
it was like you get. I mean, it was like the first year where there was like people who. Well, no, that's not true. We've had campers there before.
You went late. We went later that.
This
But there
was
was
much
more
later in
people.
the season.
I say
Usually,
we, I
you
didn't
know,
go,
there-
but
There's so few people there that you'd know who did it. There was enough
Right.
people around there that they felt like they could get away with it, which they apparently did. Because I was in charge
but
of.
they also might not have even stolen it. They might have just chucked it into the fucking great.
would have
Yeah,
kept
we looked
Shaylee's
pretty good.
speaker. I would have kept
But-
Shaylee's speaker.
I
You
would have
could-
stolen it.
I did.
You could pick something up and chuck it as far as you could throw it, and no one would ever find it in any direction. Come on.
But that was why.
But
I
there's
was
no
a good
reason to, because
detective.
if they were leaving in the morning, they just fucking take it and go.
Well, there's also that, but I
Yeah.
mean,
These-
I'm just saying.
These people were parked close enough to the outhouse shitter that if it was
dropped
Bluetooth
in.
speaker, I could have dropped it down the thing, but I
And let it keep
definitely,
playing.
I definitely, I don't fuck with other people
Then you're like,
at all.
you go to take
I
a shit in the
don't-
outhouse, and you're like, wait a minute, what's that? And you hold your ear down. You're like, I'm burning for you. Holy shit! I
E-
found it.
Now took a plunge today.
Even the ranger came over and was like, I thought that was some kind of professional setup you had, because I have like one of those privacy fence mesh nettings set up all the way around so you can't see into my
Oh,
can.
like camo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just a brown mesh. It goes up on your chain link. The
Oh,
people,
yeah.
like for like shade cloth.
yeah, it's a shade
Yeah,
cloth. Yeah.
Nice. We all want to come hang out with you off the grid, Chad.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it'll
love
be
it.
You
on the
know,
grid.
Do you have 3 more hammocks?
It's
I got one.
it's
Amazon, dude.
it's really fucking nice, I have
That's
to
great.
say.
That's good up there. Trace and I went up there once, and it was like, where the fuck are we? It's like we're like just so close off the highway, up into that canyon. That's
Yeah,
up in
it's-
Ramsey Canyon.
It's about 6 miles up
Yeah,
the
and it dead ends,
twisty
right?
dead end of a twisty road of up really
Nice.
high.
All right, let's get out of here. What do you guys got to recommend? What have you been doing? What have you been watching? What have you been into?
I watched the Guy Ritchie movie. It was pretty good with
New Guy Ritchie.
Jake Gyllenhaal. What's it called?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gooey Duck.
Gyllenhaal. It's a war movie. It's actually pretty intense, and I liked it. It's like I had to look and go, this can't be a true story, and it wasn't. Which I think almost those are better war movies, because if it's a true story, it's not really a true story, or it's inflated, or it's
Right.
just it's kind of bullshit.
Wait, so what was this movie called?
Fuck, I can't think of the name of it.
You remembered
Covenant.
everything about the
Covenant?
movie.
I think it's called Covenant.
What?
It's about it's what's funny though is at the end, it's about
Wait, don't say what happens at the end of a movie.
no,
without
well,
recommending people watch.
it's about an interpreter who helps get a soldier out, and then
Okay,
the soldier
that's
has to
enough.
help get him out. But
Jake
the
Gyllenhaal is
It's
great.
called The Covenant.
yeah,
It is
when,
called
when
The
they
Covenant.
when they say the thing, then they go, this is not based on a true story, and then they give you the numbers of the interpreters and stuff, and you realize this isn't a true story because they couldn't even find one story where we went to any great lengths to get an interpreter back out of there, so they had to just make a fantasy where it actually happened. But that's puts you in that emotional spot of like and then I think the whole I don't think that's even based on a reality that would have happened.
Well, two things are happening right there. Guy Ritchie makes great movies, and clearly Dar Salim is fantastic in everything.
Yeah, it is a very intense
Everybody knows that
movie without it feeling like a war flick. It was an
And
action
Jake Gooey Duck is
Gyllenhaal.
also-
His sister's pretty hot.
I like Maggie Gyllenhaal. Some people don't.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation.
I'll recommend something with
Alex.
Maggie Gyllenhaal in it. I think it was called The Secretary. You ever watched
Yeah.
the fucking weird James Spader movie with Maggie Gyllenhaal where he spanks her?
I think I
It's
watched
like
it
not
just
even a-
because of that.
Well, that's the only part of the movie that's good, but it is so hot. It is like a weird, like you're just watching this movie and then all of a sudden this super
It's called
hot-
Secretary.
Oh my God.
Oh man, this makes me think of
It's burned into my brain. It's burned into my brain. And that's
Is it
why I
this
think
part?
Maggie Gyllenhaal is hot. Well, that's part of it. Yes, that is part of it. It did go into a weird place. Spader's great, as of course,
Maybe
know.
I
didn't
love
watch
Spader.
that.
Oh my God.
No, I
I
wanna
was thinking about the first time he spanks her. And
I think I heard Howard Stern talk to her about it. Yeah.
it's an incredible movie. She's great in it. They're both great, but it's not, it's just like, you're watching it for a reason.
Yeah,
I
don't get caught.
Yeah,
get
don't be
caught.
in Sarasota with your
Right.
stick
It's
out.
movie 3.
Now I want to recommend, and it's a short thing, and you can find it on the internet. Is the transcript of the recording of married Rudy talking to his assistant about her tits. It's just unbelievable. It's just
Wait. So this answers the question. So like every week I see Andy tweet something or X something that makes no sense to me. And I'm like, what? Why would he? And then on the podcast, he reveals, oh, this is the backstory. Last week it was, hey, did you pull a Tommy Cooper? And we're like, oh, he
That
heard
was-
some morbid knowledge story about some guy named Tommy Cooper that no one knows who he is. So this week, someone posted, hey, what's the first word you think of when you see this picture? And it's Rudy Giuliani sweating. What's the first word you think of when you see Rudy Giuliani? And Andy's response is, he likes big tits.
Yeah, he does.
And that made no sense to me. And my response was, oh, wait, no. So I think it was men like big tits, something. So anyway, my response to Andy was, so men? Like, forgot the whole thing was that it was, what's the first word you think of? But now I get the context of
Yeah,
what you were even talking about.
It's part of a larger recording, but it's just like, what? Holy shit! Like this dude really, it's like, oh, come on, them big tits over here, and those are my big titties, and he's like talks like a fucking he talks like a pimp. Anyway,
I didn't know anything about this. I would
Yeah.
like to hear Rudy Giuliani talking about
I
it.
know. I was thinking it would be fun to hear Chad read that little. It's just like how he let those don't share those tits with anyone else. Those are my tits. It's like a
Who's he
sampling of
talking
Rudy.
to?
his like a lady who's suing him now.
Yeah.
She said, like, you know, you got her voice on it's like, oh yeah, or whatever. If you bring them big titties, oh yeah, it's only like 4 paragraphs, but it's like tits are mentioned a lot.
That's funny.
Oh.
I got mine is a double again. Because I started listening to I wanted to listen to Treasure Island. And there's a bunch of different audiobook versions of Treasure Island, and I couldn't find a good version until I found this one.
You're talking about the classic literary work, Treasure Island?
Yes.
Robert
And
Louis Stevenson.
Robert Louis Stevenson. And I found this one narrated by Timothy West. And it's only from Audible, it says. And I'll give you a loophole. I don't want to use a credit on it because it's $13 to buy this book. Well, if you use credits, you know that you never want to use a credit on a book that costs $13 because that's a waste of a credit. Because that's pretty much
But you get credits every month.
Yeah, but that's pretty much less than what a credit costs.
Yeah.
You know, you might as well just spend the $13 and spend your credit on a $21
or
book.
a $50.
Yeah, or a $50 book.
Gotcha.
But if you have Kindle Unlimited or go over and just they're always trying to fucking throw a free Kindle Unlimited deal at you. Grab up a free Kindle Unlimited deal. Then you can get the Kindle Unlimited free Treasure Island book. Once you have that in your Kindle Unlimited account,
cancel.
Then you can buy this Treasure Island with Timothy West for $7.
Oh,
So
look at this, man. The cost of a
like a lot of work to save like $14.
That's one night in the camp.
It's not a lot of
That's
work.
2 nights in the camp.
That's a easy workaround right there. But I already have Kindle Unlimited, so it was easy for me to do. But
Treasure Island.
This Timothy West narrating it is unbelievably cool and fun to listen to. And so much so that I was like, what has this guy acted in? I have to see something because I know I've seen him in something, but it turns out he's only acted in like Shakespearean stuff and like weird English type stuff that I don't really want to see. But
he's an actor.
Yes. There is one thing on Tubi called We the Kings, I think. We were
Is that with Clooney?
No, that's the Three Kings.
Three Kings.
This one is We the Kings on Tubi. And I was like, well, it says a teenager decides to seek revenge on the former guardian of his foster brother, but his actions have unforeseen consequences that change his life. I was like, it's gonna be a molestation revenge movie. All right, I'm down to watch that because I want to see this dude act. He plays like an autistic mute guy, so you know, but anyway.
Wait, the guy who's reading you the book plays a mute guy in the movie you watch.
It gets twistier than that.
Yeah, that's fantastic though.
But those are my 2 recommendations.
I love
We the Kings on Tubi and work your way into Treasure Island, read by
Go classic, guys. Tim West.
Timothy West.
Go classic. I love it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I suffered through almost a week of the fucking deluge of commercials on YouTube. And I finally just got YouTube Premium back.
Oh man.
And it's murder watching it. Once you get Premium, man.
So what are you recommending?
Getting YouTube Premium.
No, that's not a recommendation.
Yes, it is.
Chaille and I finally watched, and I watched it, but I fell asleep in the first minute because I was so tired that day I watched it. Chaille and I and Mitchell watched Renfield, the fucking Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
Wait, you saw the whole thing?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
I'm saying
I thought
the
you said
first
you fell
time I
asleep.
watched it with Mitchell.
Oh,
I
okay.
fell
Oh, yeah,
asleep
yeah.
in the first minute, but we watched it again. It was great. I can't remember the other guy's name from The Menu and The Great. He is fantastic. He's Renfield.
yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. I
Great movie.
I enjoyed it all the way through.
Chaille, you liked it?
I loved it, and I'll tell you what, I'm watching it going like, this is so weird. Like why wasn't this bigger? This
He's
movie,
back.
I did some reading on it. They fucking released a fucking vampire movie in April against Guardians of the Galaxy. And then there was another blockbuster that came out in the same fucking week. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? In April? You'd at least have a fighting chance in September or October. And then I read more about it, and they were never going to make money on this movie. Just the money that it cost to get Nicolas Cage. Just they knew.
Daily loved it because they
I
made
loved it.
Nicolas Cage the Dracula, like the old fucking Bela Lugosi Dracula with the like not just the two fucking fangs, but like the weird teeth all the way through. Or just the
Oh,
whole
and
thing.
I found out the thing that I didn't want to talk to you during the movie, but and we haven't talked about it since. But like those prosthetic teeth were so fucking cool, and I'm like, how they had to overdub this whole fucking thing.
Right. You can't talk
like,
with those
how
in.
did he talk like that? Turns out what they did was the makeup artist, this was the first time they used 3D printing for prosthetics on teeth in a movie. So they were making them so cheap, and they were whittling them down so thin that they would fit in there that he could actually speak. So
just
all
talk.
of that speaking was done with the prosthetics in there, because if something happened on set, they could just rip it out and put another one in right away, because they were making them like that. So that was the thing, is because the old days you'd have to get a dental implant or you have to get a dental impression, and then someone would craft those teeth, and they would be super expensive. So that was a way. And that was, I mean, the movie itself, the Christian Tinsley was the makeup artist. He did a great job. And just the looks that Nick Cage, 3 hours.
And after you watch that, watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent,
No.
one of the greatest
Skip
Nicolas
that one.
Cage movies of all time. And you'll see that they connect up. That Nicolas Cage's acting in Renfield is exactly the kind of thing that would lead you to The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That's just the kind of guy he is. He's fucking
He had been
great.
bitten by a
He'd been bitten.
vampire, and he was turning into a vampire through that whole movie.
The whole time.
And that makes sense. That whole
you
time
see it.
he was turning into a vampire.
The thing about Renfield is it's I mean, it's in the name. It's about Renfield. Nick Cage
Yeah,
is really,
he's a
you know,
side
he
character.
doesn't have
He's
the
like Nick Cage is like Michael Jordan playing for the Washington Bullets.
Oh,
It's like you need to let the other players contribute now. You're an old man, you're overacting.
no. Nick Cage is the Japanese people in Oppenheimer. Turns out it was about Oppenheimer the whole time.
The-
Oh man. Now I gotta
Right?
now I gotta rewatch that movie.
that cop,
His name
that
is
chick
Nicholas.
cop.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say that chick cop in Renfield was annoying as fuck.
Aquafina,
Aquafina.
Yeah,
people love her.
I guess so.
She's no
I
Mrs.
thought-
Livingston. She's no Academy Award winning Sayonara actress.
Ooh, buddy.
But I thought Miyoshi. I thought she was good for what it was, because it felt kind of campy, the movie itself, and there's some comedy in it too, and really good gore. The fucking fight scene in the
Yeah.
restaurant.
They were ripping each other's arms off and killing
Oh,
each other.
dude,
with
so good.
dismembered arms.
I described it as like vampire John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. The reason I didn't say that movie is because I figured you would. I wanted to say Premium.
Oh,
I'm so glad to be back on, and I'm paying for it now. I had Randall's account before, now I'm back on the family plan. It is just crazy the amount of ads.
Yeah,
that are
YouTube
that are in
is so
YouTube.
annoying
It's
that way.
insane.
It's like they fuck with you. I mean, after Tony, I was listening to Tony Bennett after hearing he died, and it's like fucking 4 interruptions in one song. It's like, you're fucking with me. There's some that, they're like,
Yeah,
all right.
especially during a song.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, and then like our episode that's released for free to the freeloaders, they watch all those commercials. Yeah, fuck you. Watch the commercials.
Yeah,
But
watch
to
them all.
bypass those, you just go to Patreon.
100%.
And you get there,
Oh, yeah.
and we upload those. No, there's no commercials on.
And it's
Patreon.
only $4.40 a month
plus 60 cents tax.
plus 60 cents, a convenience fee.
Yes.
And that's all you have to pay to join our Patreon. And I hope you do it. Patreon.com/issueswithandy. It's simple. It's easy.
That money gets Chad up into the mountains and me over to the beach, and
All of it.
Yeah,
Andy can
I
get a
appreciate
gooey
it
duck.
so much.
Chad can get a, hammock. I don't know what happens.
See them
but-
sunrise and sunset pictures I've been
Oh my
posting.
God. Look, these guys are
Oh.
living life.
Look at that.
yeah, we got to live. We're LIVIN for you while you're in the factory.
Oh,
Well, listen, I take
should've
it.
sent mine to
It's
Chaille,
interesting
too.
that you say that. I should send. Look, maybe I can do it right now. I take a picture every morning because my dock, the dock where I unload trucks, faces east. So I take a picture every morning of the sun coming up, just for fun. But I don't send it to anyone because other than Carrie,
Who are you sending it to now?
I'm gonna send it to you,
Okay.
right? I mean, we
Yes.
can,
Well,
this is
since
will
we're
all be
doing
on
that,
tape.
I'm sending Chaille my sunrise picture from this
Do it.
morning.
Do it.
Do it
Let's
right now. I can
let's
put
do a
them all in
contest.
there.
All right. All
Let's
right.
do a
The movie
contest.
is it a warning? The movie Covenant, if I say it right, there are dogs in it.
Are you giving everyone a warning just in case?
There's
it's a trigger?
references to the dogs that are off camera, and then later we see dogs.
That is kind of a spoiler alert situation. I think Andy's picture is brilliant. I think that's a fucking
Fucking,
That's
it
a
looks
kind
like
of-
a calendar, man.
yeah, that's the kind of thing that company Canvas Pop that'll turn your pictures into paintings. That's a painting right there. That's beautiful. So
Well,
I
I
just
know
sent
some people- I'm glad
Shaylee
that-
my picture from
Yeah,
this
I'm
morning.
getting them. Hold on.
Mine
From this
too,
morning.
Erickson, this morning.
All right, perfect.
Gotta love the goddamn sun.
Dude, every morning it's just like, all right, here we go, motherfuckers.
This morning I was woken up at 3:30 when some people drove into my fucking campground and turned, for some reason, that road doesn't aim into my fucking camp, but for some reason they turned their headlights directly
Oh,
into
man.
my fucking tent and woke me up. And then they went over and just parked, and I was like, what the fuck? It didn't occur to me. I was like, well, now I guess I gotta go shit. So about 20, 30 minutes
up.
later, I headed over and took a shit, and I had to walk right past where they parked. And then I took a shit and came out, and then they took off. And then I realized they went up there to fuck.
Oh
And
man, look at
yeah,
that.
that
That's
was my
incredible.
that was my sunrise.
That's a winner. I think you got me beat, bro.
Oh, and then
Well,
here.
it's-
Wait, is this Chad? Is this yours?
That was
It's not
mine.
That's
That's
the
fucking
fucking
pretty
factory,
epic.
Shaylee.
I know. I thought you got one. Here, I got this one right here. There's
That's
Erickson.
it. That's
Still
it.
pretty.
Urban.
Look, that's work. There's work happening.
Yep.
Look, there's Teslas
Making
out
them
there.
trucks.
There's-
I like this one better.
me too.
7,400 feet.
Wow,
Just
really?
a sea of trees.
Oh my God.
Wow.
7,400 feet elevation.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's incredible. Good for you.
We're
Put
just
mine back up. Let's look at mine. I'm at 64 feet elevation right there. I'm on the second floor.
it's
I was
only
up on the
90
second
degrees.
floor.
It's about 90 degrees there.
So I'm on the second floor there. So my dock is obviously on the ground. So those trucks, the back of those trucks you're seeing, I'm over to the right a little bit from there every day for 12 hours a fucking day, unloading trucks.
Dear
Just so that
God.
you guys can have Cybertruck.
And
Like,
look at this.
who
That's
cares?
about a 45-second walk from where I wake up in my tent.
Motherfucker. Wait till
You
you're
take that
pulling your
picture.
Cybertruck up to that spot. You'll be like, thank God Erickson was alive when he was.
If it's tiny, I don't even want to take a regular truck up that motherfucker. That's why I like that little Ranger.
Well, Chaille already said it's too small. So
Oh,
look at it.
You could drive up in that, and then on the way down, you could pick up parts that fell off going up the mountain.
I feel like if it rolled
All
down,
right,
you'd be
cut
all
it,
right.
shut it down. Shut
I
it
feel like it'd
down.
be cool to roll down in that.
Shut it down. Unfair. Unfair. You guys should get jobs.
Oh, that's why there's
Oh,
a pickup
ow.
truck. That's why there's a bed in the back, Andy.
That's why we're trying to get people over on the Patreon, man.
I thought this was a job.
Yeah, it
Shit.
seems like it sometimes. That's a harsh blow. Pick up the parts. All right, that's it, you guys. We love you. Thanks for being out there. Thanks for being on YouTube. Thanks for being on Patreon. Whichever one you do. You want to be a freeloader? Be a freeloader. We don't give a fuck. Be on YouTube. But
I
if
take
you
my
could
wallet.
afford it, throw us a couple of bucks a month. We just give it to these two guys so that they can go up in the mountains and jack off into sand or
Maybe
whatever.
I'll put your $5 in my wallet and walk away from the table and you can get it back.
Yeah, he's trying to give a refund.
We appreciate it.
Wait, Andy, stand up again. Is your shirt unbuttoned?
It is now. It's hot out here, but I'm
All
getting
right. Okay. I just wondered. I
I'm
thought
getting mishked, but I didn't want to show it off.
yeah. Well, okay. I didn't know if you were doing a clam thing.
No, no.
All right. We love you guys. Thanks for being out there. And tell a friend, like and subscribe to the channel. Join our Patreon if you haven't joined it already. We love you. I love these three guys. Thank you three gentlemen for doing this every week. My favorite 2 hours of the week, even though I get to see the sunrise at the car factory. This is better. Thank you. And thank you guys for being out there. We'll see you next time. Bye.